All right. So that's working under Untitled. Perfect. All right. All right. So that should be going to subpar. I don't know if you can hop in there and check, babe. You got the alert? How come I don't ever get the alerts? I mean, it doesn't alert me when even my own channel doesn't alert me. Must have certain things silenced on my phone. All right. Yeah, it does. All right, we're just doing some. Hey, there's my list. And me. Yeah, and there's JP SF8. What's up, guys? Lone Bolt. He's happy now. Look at it. He's been wanting me to go on subpar for a while now. So I'm just going to be making some brews right now, guys. I'm going to be making some brews. And I think we'll probably watch some Fleckus Talks, the podcast in the background. Stealing the tips. That's the new one here. Make this bigger for the ladies. All right. And properties. There we go. There it is up there on the top right. Come on in. Welcome in. Pull up a seat.
All right, welcome back to Fleckus Talks, the podcast, episode 324 today.
So we're going to watch some Fleckus Talks, the podcast, here in a second. But in the meantime, I'm just going to kind of chill and let a few more people come in. But I want to work on making a tree folk. Like I want to do like a green, white, black, green. I'm going to do a very competitive tree folk deck. Right? And I know there's like a new, this guy right here. I don't have it. He might be rare now. Okay, so he's not mythic, he's just rare. Rule is, we got this guy. There he is, right here. Dorian Besieged by Time. When this creature enters, if you cast it, mill 4 cards. When you do, return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battle. I think we might be able to work something with that. And this, right? This one is create 3 white spirit tokens. Distribute plus counters among 1, 2, or 3 target creatures you control. Creatures you control gain trample and lifelink. I'm just going to throw in some of these things and try to figure out what I need to pull out, right? Can you guys hear me okay? I was just watching Christian nationalism versus white nationalism on NXR. First hour was interesting, but then it fizzled out. Yeah, they usually just end up arguing in circles about nonsense. Return target permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a hexproof counter on it and an indestructible. Yeah, I think we're gonna have some fun with this. I like that art right there. That's pretty cool. How much mana is that? Is that 6 mana? 6 mana is not hard to come by. And we got some mill action with this, right? So it says return target permanent card. So what happens to these creatures you control? I wonder what happens if you give that a hexproof and a indestructible. Oh, you have to sacrifice it. Okay, so that gets around indestructible. Okay. All right. Well, that makes sense. But I do wanna start with oh, so I'm trying to do something with like a tree folk deck, right? So let's see what we have for tree folk. Because the tree folk kind of they is that all the tree folk that I have total? Oh, okay. We got some more tree folk here. But I really want something with okay, this creature, remove 2 counters on this creature. 3 or less. That'll get this back. Actually no, that's 4. Whenever a token you control enters, I could kinda do like a little tree folk. Could probably do like a little tree folk, what do you call it? Tribal. Because that works out well right there. That could be pretty handy too. Alright, so I could blight 2 onto this tree folk. Pretty much have endless draw right there. This thing's pretty cool too. Hold on. Go ahead and get the nice fancy art. Alright. So this is white or black, and that'll help me get these back, right? So what do we have? Those are all my tree folk are indestructible, so that works. Alright. Okay. Now this helps with the tokens, but I don't know if I'll play this or not. Maybe not this. So then probably not this. And oh, this could get really good. I think I need more. Maybe one less of that. One less of those. And let me get that stone, the tribal. It should be like a tribal stone, right? Color this there. There it is. And that's an uncommon. So that one, as this artifact enters, choose a creature type. Spells you cost, because this is considered. That's an enchantment. Okay. Okay. Let's go with get lost. We'll get lost. Maybe one less mission. No, I like the permission. I think this is like a very rudimentary. Like how about the ghost? We do need a way to. How much of these are enchantments? Not too many. All right. Well, while I'm ruminating about this, I'm gonna let you guys watch some Fleck's talks. How about that?
Stage an attack so she looks tough? It looks like she did. We'll go over the details there. Then it's 85 seconds to midnight on the doomsday clock. Oh no. Then unhinged nurses let politics override the Hippocratic oath they took in Cringe of the Week. And last but not least, in Urban Decay, a new movie glamorizes looting. We're going to show you guys the trailer. All this and more, it's Fleck's Talks, the podcast, episode 324, ranked the best snooze podcast of all time.
Because words are just words until action actually starts. And actions speak louder than words, but at the same time, words speak louder than actions because sometimes it's the right thing to do.
Very cool. Very cool.
Fleck's Talks, the podcast featuring Richard Brad.
All right, 1 for 1 on the intro, as always. Guys, it's time to experience the ultimate balance of comfort and readiness with the Leisure Carry belt. The Leisure Carry belt is designed specifically for gym shorts and casual clothing without traditional belt loops. I've been using mine with my gym shorts and it's incredibly comfortable. Leisure Carry uses high-quality American-made materials that conform to your body so that you can stay armed whether you're running errands on your Vespa, chilling in a cabana, or playing tennis in Miami. The belt works with all your IWB holsters securely while distributing weight evenly, reducing pressure points, and allowing for natural movement in your comfiest clothing. There's no extra layers on your body, it's super lightweight, and it can be taken off in seconds. It makes it so convenient to carry that you'll feel silly for leaving your house without your gear. The Leisure Carry belt is used and trusted by over 100,000 people around the world, including undercover and plainclothes officers on every single continent. We have a limited time promo code, SHOWWATCHER15, all one word, SHOWWATCHER15, and that's going to be valid through...
All right, guys, we're going to try this in, we're going to go into here. We're going to try this in standard, standard regular play. Where's the tribal? Go ahead and favorite that. Give this one a shot. We're going to play this in just regular standard play. Oh, you know what? I always do this. I always forget to do the lands. So there should be a land. There you go. Perfect. Okay. Alright. Fancy land. Alright. Alright. Let's see. This would be good for making more enchantments, if we needed to. It'd be good for making more of these. Oh, that'd be actually really good. I need way more forests than I do. I think we're gonna go here. Stuff that counts as a forest. That's a forest and a plains combined. I'm going to go ahead and burn a rare and get that one done. Alright, so, because we have affinity for forests here. JP's hoping you're doing well. Good. Oh, there you go. JPA, so I hope you're not having your headaches. They should be able to hear you if you say something. Or if you wanted to. If you talk loud enough. If you talk loud enough. Let's go. So this one also is a forest plains. That's kind of perfect. We're at 68. So get rid of, I think I'm pretty much going to get rid of all of the, what are we at for lands? We're at 27 lands. So we can get rid of Actually, let me go to green N. Because there should be some forest swamps that I can use, right? Like right there. And I can get rid of my swamps. And right there. That's another swamp forest. Perfect. Get rid of that. Okay. So wait a second. What does this say? Landfall. Whenever a land you control enters. So I guess this really is helpful. If you're really digging for lands, right? So I'm guessing maybe. I'd have to have. Oh, you know what? Oh, you know what would be great? Portals. Huh. Hope I spelled it right. There it is, right there. So that would really do well. And I probably also want to roll with that. So we got 28 lands. And this one is whenever this creature enters or attacks, mill 3 cards, then return a land card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Let me see, there should be an adventure. I'm brewing here, guys. You gotta bear with me. So this one says create. Oh, that's not. That's not normal. Although that would get pretty monstrous, wouldn't it? That was the name of it. It's green mana. What the hell's the name of that? It's green mana, and you can cast it for. I know it's a mythic. That actually would probably be pretty good in here too. Ooh, this would help. Yeah, I might have to be rocking this as well, guys. I just got a lot of really good possible ideas here. A lot of potentiality here. Go down there. All right, what do we got for land here? Oops. 28 lands, so I got to drop 4 lands. I don't know that I need a whole lot of white. So I think I could probably. I think I'll get rid of these. That puts me at 24. Alright, let's get back to
February 6th. So jump on this offer while you still can. This company's been around for 3 years and they've only offered this a couple times. The link is in the description below and in the pinned comment. Get your leisure carry today. And don't forget, these guys are show watchers, so you're supporting a Patriot-owned business, you're supporting us here at Fleckus Talks, and you're giving yourself the ability to comfortably carry no matter what you're wearing. Thank you to Leisure Carry for sponsoring. Let's get into housekeeping. All right, thank you to Leisure Carry for sponsoring.
Thank you, Leisure Carry.
Show watchers.
Yes.
You can tell when they give you the script that they're show watchers when the script is like Ceviche Cabana tennis, show watcher.
Yeah, good one to support, and that's like one man or very few people business, so the guys out there doing it.
They do a great job, and they love the show. It's a full 360 win, as you guys know. Happy Friday, everybody.
Thank you.
Crazy. Another week went by, and it's cold this time.
That's how it goes. Yeah, Florida, we're like in the 40s this week, so
We have a stat
people
here.
up north must be fucked.
Yeah, we have a crazy stat here from a couple days ago. It was 32 degrees in Orlando and 33 degrees in Juneau, Alaska.
Yes, yeah, crazy. I don't know how that, and that seems like a small distance apart, like 3,500 miles, that's all that is between that?
Thought there was more Canada in there.
Yeah.
It's because of the globe. The globe is not, doesn't, it's proof
Let's try
the
this.
globe model isn't accurate.
Okay, that's not what I was getting at.
We're on the same page. The ice wall is
Yeah, oh,
further.
yeah.
He's always trying to. Fleckus is always trying to sneak in some tinfoil stuff. They're talking about Juneau, Alaska is warmer than Florida right now. He's like, yeah, that proves that it's not a globe. And Richard Ratboy was like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe not that, I'm not on board. He's like, yeah, we're totally agreeing with each other. Flex is just like, he's like, no, I don't think so. No, that's funny.
Further to the ice wall.
Yeah.
But it is cold, and it goes cold sometimes.
Yeah, nothing to say here.
All right, let's give
I
this
don't
a
know.
shot.
Just
Weather
goes cold.
changes.
And then that snowstorm we talked about, we said it wasn't so bad, but I guess because we didn't feel a snowstorm. It actually was bad
In certain places, right?
in certain places. Our friends in Nashville said they're not going to have power for 2 weeks, and a lot of the trees went down from all
Oh,
the
they're
ice.
saying some
Yeah.
places in
that's
Nashville,
kinda
no
bad.
power for 2 weeks.
Good luck to you guys.
Good luck, guys. Make sure you fix that. And it might snow here this weekend in Florida,
Wow.
in the Tampa-St. Pete area. It might snow.
Governor
Rats to the Moon's going to get snow, probably.
DeSantis, do something, please.
Ron DeSantis.
Who has the weather machine? Who has control of the weather machine? Ron DeSantis, please.
Oh, man. And I met an old lady at the tire shop a couple weeks ago, and she said that it snowed once in the 80s.
I think 77. I saw something too.
Yeah, I trust her.
Okay.
She has a good memory.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to
Old
our
ladies.
The old
Very reliable.
It was
They never get confused.
1987. All right, let's get to our first story of the day. It's my favorite story of the day. Ilhan Omar looks like she staged an attack.
And DHS Secretary Kristi Noem must resign or face impeachment.
Yeah, a lot of people are thinking this whole thing was staged, the Ilhan Omar thing. Apparently, there are pictures of her with the person that allegedly attacked her. Apparently, that's interesting. Earlier,
I don't know.
And then you see her go towards the guy.
Very weird, yeah.
She saw it in the Marvel movies, too.
I know. Scarlett Johansson inspired her.
And it ended up being apple cider vinegar, and the guy who
was
did it
apple
was a
cider vinegar.
leftist who has a trans kid and pictures with Ilhan Omar.
so the guy who did it has campaigned to elect her and has trans kids.
That's
Yeah.
weird.
It all
Isn't that
fucking
weird?
adds
So
up.
he was scorned by Ilhan. He used to support her, and now he doesn't.
As she's getting more and more extreme now, it's gone too far.
And she crossed the line so far that he had to pull out 3 milliliters of apple cider vinegar, as if that's some sort of weapon itself, right?
Yeah. So, in my mind, in my opinion, allegedly, this seems like a staged attack, and she was trying to have her Trump fight moment after the assassination attempt. And I think another reason to do this is so you can have Ilhan Omar's supporters and Democrats say, Ilhan Omar is under attack by Republicans because they accused her of fraud or whatever. It's just like a way to combat the allegations that she's been facing, which are legit allegations.
Yeah, it's like the subject line of a fundraising email. Ilhan attacked. We need you to act now, right?
Yeah. And if you look in slow motion, right before it happens, you can see her give a nod to the guy. It's very
About to get
subtle.
wrecked.
But she goes, do it. Do the plan.
Allegedly.
And
He's sitting front row, and here's a picture with his families,
Some
I guess,
kind of
and some
board
of the kids
there, I
and
think.
stuff. I don't know if we really should show
we're
him.
going to blur the trans kids, but he's got trans kids. He's very much a leftist. Everyone's got pink and purple hair.
Everyone's got nose rings and stupid shit done to their face. This guy's name is Kazmierzak, real Polish type. Hate to see a Polish guy fall down this Americanized leftist path. So
Yeah.
but I guess
Yeah, Polish. A little bit of maybe a smaller than a baseball hat kind of.
I don't know. I don't know what happened, but very unnatural.
He's got that fat, round moon face.
Polish face.
Not
Fat, round
enough
Polish.
lymphatic drainage.
Yeah, you could say that. I've been there, brother.
And we have a meme of her as Jussie Smollett. That's funny.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. And like, even if it wasn't
all this fake
planned
bullshit.
and it was a real thing, like not accomplishing anything, it seems weird. It's not.
I saw that there was a BOM, boom, cyclone in the North and South Carolina. What does that even mean? A cyclone?
There's nothing at the end. There's
Yeah.
no. And then I did this. It's just an interruption. It's pointless. So.
Apple cider vinegar.
And we know she's a scammer, you know? The marry the brother thing, the winery at a fake valuation.
This is a form of a scam as well.
I know. They're all scams.
Very
So-
salami of her. All right, let's get to our next story. We've been telling you guys about what's going on in Virginia ever since the Democrats took power. Crazy stuff. No minimum sentencing for child predators. No auditing NGOs with taxpayer money. No doing election integrity vote counts by hand. We have a new one. They're trying to ban assault weapons.
Yeah, today a bill to ban assault weapons was voted out of committee in the Virginia Senate, and it essentially makes gun ownership illegal in the Commonwealth. The author is State Senator Saddam Aslan Salim, who was born in Bangladesh.
Totally American.
In Virginia's
sounding.
code, an assault weapon is defined as any semi-automatic center-fire rifle or pistol that expels single or multiple projectiles. The bill makes it a Class 1 misdemeanor to possess or sell an assault weapon under this definition, as well as any magazine that holds over 10
Oh,
rounds.
crazy
And
weather.
then at the end it says, if
like
signed into
hurricanes.
law, it would turn millions of law-abiding gun owners in Virginia into felons with the stroke of a pen.
Yeah.
That's the really crazy part. What's an assault weapon? Any gun that shoots.
Crazy.
According to Saddam Aslan Salim. He
Yeah.
doesn't think you guys need guns in Virginia, one of the founding colonies.
Yeah, but Vivek is based. Yeah. You know? Born in Bangladesh. Again, guys, everywhere you look, it's like already too deep. So, and other people vote for this guy based on his skin color, probably. Like, I'm tired of old white men or whatever. I'm going to give them what they want, to be honest. I'm voting for white candidates.
There you go.
You know, like the opposite. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
the
It's time to actually do it. People who are like born and have generations in America who wouldn't even touch this. This guy has no ties to the Second Amendment. He just got here, right? He was told about it. He doesn't have a grandfather who gave him a gun or any like land where he went hunting or did any. He has no ties to this land, so it's just a sentence to him. It's just a sentence on a piece of paper. And so that's why it means nothing to go against it, right?
You don't need that.
Yeah, but we had none of that in Bangladesh. Why are you here then?
And we, speaking of politics and elections and stuff, we have a AG candidate out of Ohio, and he has a very unique message.
Hi, this is Elliot Forehand, candidate for Ohio Attorney General. I want to tell you what I mean when I say that I am going to kill Donald Trump.
Wow. Okay. This guy's saying, wow. Okay.
I mean, I'm going to obtain a conviction rendered by a jury of his peers at a standard of proof beyond
People lost their
reasonable
minds.
doubt, based on evidence presented at a trial conducted in accordance with the requirements of due process, resulting in a sentence duly executed of capital punishment. That
Here's what I mean.
Capital punishment?
Yeah.
And he's basically saying the end result 1st, that he wants to KILL Donald Trump.
I want Trump dead. How do I get there?
And then we're going to get there legally by squeezing the legal system in a weird way to make it actually work, which is what they did in the past.
Yeah.
They've literally done this where they moved the legality stuff around to kind of make it fit, like when Trump got all of those other convictions or whatever.
Yeah, it's a fresh take on show me the man and I'll show you the crime. It's I got the sentence. now I got to backdoor into it. It's a new take, and he's campaigning on it.
Show me the man, I'll show you the crime used to be like a bad thing.
Yeah, communism. It used
where
to be
it was
like
like
a
this
Russian...
is why we can't do it.
Yes.
And now he's doing it like, here's the man. We can find a crime for him.
Yeah, exactly.
So they've just accepted it, and this might get you elected these days, sadly.
Yeah, I mean, the Attorney General of Virginia, I think it's Jay Collins. I'm forgetting the name, but he had that thing where all his texts got leaked, where he was kind of rooting for like dead MAGA children, the children of his political opponents. And this guy goes, "Hey, that's a good idea. Those leaked, and you won. I'm going to go do it for the state of Ohio."
I'm going to lean into that. We do have some
so
good...
foreigners, and then people want to kill the...
Yeah, these people have literally lost their minds, in my opinion. There's a level of, you got to be kidding me here.
person 73 million people voted for, right? Like, how'd we get here?
And these would be like extreme positions a while ago, and now it's just front and center. It's a campaign ad.
Now it's page 2 of housekeeping. It's not even the first thing, right?
And it's like a campaign ad for him,
Yeah.
and it also could be a campaign ad for the right, too. So it's like the same content can go both ways. It's just there's so many...
Rorschach.
There's two different ways to look at the same thing, and the country's so divided that it works on either side.
Yep.
We have an FBI raid that happened in Fulton County at the Georgia election office in connection to the 2020 vote. So that's good.
That's kind of big news, but do you think the people who stole the election are going to preserve the evidence of that stolen election 6 years later?
I have a feeling no.
I don't know. I don't think so. I'm not hopeful. But it is interesting watching them squirm, like John Ossoff and other elected officials there. You know, the black lady who runs the office are probably like, this ain't right. So it's fun to see him squirm, but I don't know. How are your hopes high?
Not high, but they're not zero.
That's actually true, because a stupid person who is the foot soldier for stealing an election and is a yes man for the men upstairs would kind of botch.
Sloppy.
Yeah. Oh, I like running the shredder and kind of like leaving midway through.
Yeah.
So there's some worlds, but it's nice to see the pressure take hold.
Jabarkis, Trump's going to lose. Trust me. We doing everything over here.
Yeah, some incriminating text messages. There probably is some
They
stuff.
didn't run a tight operation.
For sure.
All right, our next story, it's about the potential electoral college changes based on the new census forecast.
Yeah, it's a forecast for 2030, so none of this is like imminent or anything.
All right.
But 2030 is closer than 2020. So under this map, Donald Trump would have defeated Kamala 321 to 217, and he could have lost all 3 of Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Michigan, still winning the Sun Belt. So this is really bad for Democrats. Part of this is obviously during the great COVID migration when people left leftist states. And California is -4 electoral votes. Texas gets all of those. Florida is +2, Georgia +1, you know, and then a couple Illinois, Pennsylvania, New York type states lose one.
So that would be good if we can get that to happen.
Yeah, and all that migration happened right after the 2020 census. So we kind of got screwed there in terms of timing. Some of this stuff could have already happened if COVID had happened a year earlier. But, you know, this is just context for why they really, really, really want to stuff certain states with foreign-born and illegals, right?
Exactly. And then when you count for all the illegals, it ends up being an 18 electoral vote swing in favor of the Democrats.
Yeah.
So that's the whole election right there.
Yeah, and we've kind of harped on that a little bit. You're actively being disenfranchised now already. We're not even gerrymandering, just bodies in the seats.
Yeah.
You're actively being disenfranchised by illegal aliens being here.
Yeah, that's a fact. We're being unseated from our manifest destiny, so to speak. Ooh, yeah, this is probably a pretty good card to have in here too, isn't it? That Dread Knight is a very good card. I think we're gonna go with Pulse. That's a sorcery, so I don't know that the stone is really, it's not really doing much, so I think I'll switch that out. Let's try that. Try a couple more runs on just regular standard play here. Hey Mimsy, good to see you. Morning Mist is getting ready to say hello. She's shy. She doesn't want to use her voice. No, I think you could hear her. She's sitting right next to me. Well, not right next to me, but... Alright, here we go. But keep this. Drop that in. Let's drop this. Get some ramp going. We're going to surveil next turn. I do need some white mana. Oh, actually, no. That's white mana. Perfect. Need... I'm going to do this, and I can drop this. It's going to be nice. Uh-oh. I think I might have an Ouroboros, whatever the hell that... Ouroboros. Oh, no, got the mole. Let's go ahead and get this going. Maybe if he drops 2 of those, I can get them both with a Maelstrom Pulse. But I definitely need to get rid of that dang mole, for sure, for Shizzle. Like, he's reading it, he's like, what world is that? Funny how these people are playing, like, these tier 1, like, competitive decks here.
Very true. All right, let's get to our next story. We have some good news on the economic front for some people.
Yeah.
For the newborns. There's something called Trump accounts, which is basically money from the government when you have a kid, and then it could be matched by your business or your bank or your employer. And if held to age 18, it could make a lot of money for kids and give them a good footing to start their life.
Yeah, it's basically a new investment vehicle. Most of you guys probably know about like 529 education plans, stuff like that are allowed to grow tax-free for you to pay for college. But this one has kind of no strings attached. It's just for general use, like buy a house, start your life. And yeah, it seems like a good development. There's a couple employers who have already said they're going to match it, like Steak and Shake and Bank of America. And it's funny because we were talking about it before the show.
Let's go ahead and swing.
And it's nothing groundbreaking, right? You have to put in money. You might get a little match here and there.
Swinging for 9.
But for people like us, millennials, it's beyond this. It's you control your investments, right? As opposed to the government control.
Yeah, they do sell for a lot of money in Pokemon cards and stuff. Some of the Magic cards was actually some of the honey. I don't know if you noticed some of the dual lands from Revised. They sell for like $900, $600. I have some dual lands. I gotta find all my cards. Demonic Tutor sells for quite a bit. Wheel of Fortune. I don't know if I have Wheel of Fortune anymore or not though. I may or may not have a few of those.
Controlling your investments, like is the case with Social Security, which all of us pay into right now, and is on track to be bankrupt by 20 whatever. Until
Yeah, I was telling him I have a feeling I'm not going to get my Social Security, and I was asking, like, can I just get it now and you don't have to give it to me later?
No. No.
Can I just get the 11 grand now?
So it's better than that because you'll control it and you can just invest. And so if you took all the money we put into Social Security and just invested it into the S&P 500, it would be probably 3 times the amount I'm expected to get from Social Security. And it's a nice little change because it's kind of outside of government purview. But I was laughing with Fleckus. It's like millennials, fucked again. Social Security is going to be basically bankrupt by the time we're there. And I'm mid-30s right now while the baby account comes out. So it's a nice move, but there's this nice middle, Gen Z and millennials just getting fucking butchered by inflation, and we miss the nice accounts.
Too young to get your Social Security benefits, too old to get the new baby money.
Yeah, so, but it's an interesting move, and, you know, I like any sort of investment that's encouraged outside of the government or outside of a pension, right?
I think so, too. All right, let's move on to our Minneapolis update section. But before we do, we have a very special message from Gideon Optics. Guys, when you're ready to customize your weapon with firearms accessories that dial it in for your shooting needs, a sight from one of the most innovative optics manufacturers in the game should be on your build sheet. Gideon Optics was founded by experienced leaders in the firearm industry, engineers, manufacturers, and part sellers who are passionate about creating modern sights, scopes, and equipment that get the most from today's state-of-the-art firearms. And the best part, the guys at Gideon Optics are all show watchers. Gideon Optics has open emitter reflex sights, closed emitter reflex sights, prism sights, LPVOs, and tons of accessories to get you on target. Make sure you check out the Mediator XL red dot sight. It's a big windowed industrial style rifle red dot that Gideon Optics just debuted at SHOT Show in Vegas last week. It's sick. I just got mine and I can't wait to get it set up. If you're tired of optics where the only high performance part is the price, shop with Gideon Optics. Shoot better, save money, and customize your gun with performance optics that help you get the most out of your weapon. Order your precision sights and scopes with Gideon Optics today. Use code Somali Daycare for 10% off of your order and free shipping.
Use
That's
code Somali Daycare.
Daycare, all one word. Let's support businesses that support the show. Let's support some show watchers and get all your 2A needs satisfied. Thank you to Gideon Optics for sponsoring. Let's get into housekeeping. All right, thank you to Gideon Optics for sponsoring.
Thank you, Gideon.
Guys, a lot of good show watcher 2A companies today. Let's take advantage.
Yep.
All right, let's get into our Minneapolis update section. Before we start that, I want to show you guys a clip from CNN that talks about the numbers of people who approve the deportations of illegals.
Yeah, sometimes I like blunt questions because they sort of get at the underlying feelings that people have. So this is about as blunt a question as you can get. Deport all immigrants here illegally. I will note the ABC News poll asked about undocumented immigrants. So we have slightly different questions, but these were all taken from the last month. And there's real...
What do you think, guys? You think I should try this on? Try to do some competitives. It might be janky enough to give me a few wins, sneak in a few wins. Like somebody saying Trump just issued a warning from Air Force One. I don't know if it's real or not.
Uniformity here. That's what I really think you see. You see real uniformity. Deporting all immigrants who are here illegally. 55% of the New York Times. Marquette, 64%. Yeah, CBS News, 57%. ABC News with a slightly different question, 56%. So
there you have it. It is a very popular stance. And obviously they're showing all of the protesters and the loud idiots on TV, making you think that it's like a radical opinion to want these illegals gone. But those are all left-leaning sources, and they came up with the numbers that are 55 to 67% of Americans want them gone. So it's probably even higher.
Yeah, visible and tight majority. And then all these little protesters, right? It's kind of the same group of people heckling these guys, and they call it the heckler's veto. When a loud vocal minority comes in, this does not represent the country. Leftists who don't have a job to be at in Minneapolis, like you can't let yourself think like there's a real opposition just because Jimmy Kimmel's going to cry in 15 minutes. We'll show you that soon, right? So it's really just a loud minority.
Very true. And Alex Preddy, the guy who was killed.
Yeah, these life gain decks are pretty tough.
By ICE last week. He's been all over the news, obviously, and they're really hyping him up, making him seem like a great guy. We actually found...
I saw a chap earlier who suggested Trump get over citizenship to any illegals who will vote Republican and see how quickly the Democrats change tack and want to see people get kicked out. Yeah, that's pretty funny, actually. Good stuff. Okay, get rid of this. No, I should have got rid of the other one. Yeah, I'm toast here, guys. I don't think I'm going to make this.
On this clip from his last ICE interaction, and look what he does.
This is a moment the news movement filmed on January 13th in Minneapolis, showing a man who appears to be Alex Preddy interacting with federal immigration agents 11 days before.
See, I don't know, because Killer was talking about this last night, I think, or the night before, talking about it. It seemed like it might have been fake.
Border Patrol shot and killed him.
AI.
Our footage was analyzed by the BBC, whose facial recognition technology confirmed his identity to a 97% degree of accuracy.
So is a certain type of protester retard.
Yeah, and this is what I mean by it's the same people circling every day. It's kind of like a small crowd, you know? Yeah. So of course that he was going to be doing something retarded on camera a couple days earlier, right?
And that's what he did a few days before, and then this most recent time he had a gun with him.
And he had a gun in this clip too. You can see it in his back pocket. We'll probably zoom in on that. You can see it in his waistband from behind.
Yeah, so no buenos.
Yeah, and he's a nurse at this VA place and all this, and he hasn't worked there for a couple months, and his parents were worried about him, said he'd been making some bad decisions, and kind of like some off your meds, went loco energy.
Loose cannon type.
Yeah, but here's how...
The MK Ultra freaking activated him. Yes, that taillight was very suspicious. Yeah, it was weird. And the way that they grabbed him, they put him in the same... They put him down kind of the same way that they put him down the other time. So, you know, like, it didn't make sense, man. It looked a little AI-ish to me.
CNN talks about him.
Yeah, but this is how the news portrays him.
I think Americans have had it. I think Americans will not be lied to. Frankly, they chose to, they killed the wrong guy, right? Because this is like the perfect guy. Alex Pretty is the guy you would want to date your daughter. The guy you would want your son to grow up to be. A decent human being who was serving humanity, serving sick veterans, who is, you know, there is nothing that has been said about that man that isn't wonderful. And so...
Just a straight up lie, and when you play it, spliced with him kicking the ice car, it just makes you look really stupid. But the media's been covering up for him. I'm sure you guys saw the edited image. That's him on the left, and then CNN puts the picture, or MSNBC puts out the picture on the right to make him look less, well, to make him look...
They Facetune him.
Yeah, they make him look more white.
Yeah.
We'll say that.
Okay, well, Pretty, what kind of last name is Pretty? That sounds Italian to me.
I don't know.
So
but
he might be one of those
Look at that job. And then that's the same types of people who did the Joe Rogan edit when he was sick with COVID.
Yeah.
But they're just out there trying to make him look nice.
And it's really funny because Anna Navarro, that whole time, like, she's doing this, oh, everybody wants him to date your daughter. I'd politely ask him to leave my establishment. But she might as well just be saying, he's on my side. He's on my side. He's on my side, like 6 times. You know? That's basically the extent of what they're up to.
That's very true. And then at a hockey game, they tried to have a moment of silence for him, and it didn't really take.
Couple people.
Yeah, this is not working out very well, guys.
not really a moment of silence.
A couple of people yell "Go home, ice,"
up.
and a couple boos, but hockey, not really the leftist sport.
Yeah, exactly. And then this whole situation in Minneapolis is just like a great learning experience for people watching and seeing how they're presenting like fake facts and real facts and how they obfuscate. We have an example here. It's about abortion, but when it comes to illegal immigration, it's not abortion anymore.
Yeah, New York Times when peddling abortions, fetus. New York Times when peddling illegal immigration, unborn child. So that's just, and I'll read, I guess, the headlines. Is a
It just shows you how dishonest they are, huh?
fetus a person? An anti-abortion strategy says yes. And then undocumented women ask, will my unborn child be a citizen? So
you're switching interweb providers today. Uh-oh. Well, good luck to you. Genuinely, good luck. Our internet's been kind of janky lately. I think I'm going to win this, boys.
it's an unborn child when it's an illegal, and it's just a fetus when it's like a liberal white woman's baby who they kind of want you to get rid of.
Yeah, very true. And it's very obvious when you look and you kind of keep in mind the track record of these organizations up until now.
Yeah, and then someone can get like red pilled on any individual thing. Like a lot of times, everyone who watches this show is a certain type of show watcher, right?
This tech doesn't
if
have
you're
it.
like 18 or 19 or a young college kid, and then you see one of these events happen, and you see he's face-tuned, and he quit his job weeks ago, and he's stomping the thing, and everyone's making him into a martyr. Sometimes you need like a new instance to refresh, like, hey, maybe someone's lying. So the more the media does this, the more people kind of wake up. And then the stupid people kind of just fall into that trance. Mm-hmm. But you are actually hurting yourself in the long term based on people waking up.
You can't do this forever.
Exactly. You can't get away with it forever.
Very true. And like you mentioned before, Jimmy Kimmel was crying on his show about the situation in Minneapolis. Here's that clip.
If our leaders are intentionally creating and encouraging violence and fear, then I hope you will also agree we need new leaders, because these are not leaders. And to the people of Minneapolis, to the Preddy family and the Good family,
Is he fucking crying again? Jimmy Kimmel's crying again.
We're looking out for their neighbors.
Looking out for their child predator neighbors.
Pussy.
This is what getting blackmailed by Jeffrey Epstein looks like.
This is
allegedly.
Yeah, this is what $20 million a year to do exactly what I tell you looks like. You're crying tonight, Jimmy. Hey, Jimmy, it's cry time. He has 3 contractual cries per year in his contract.
He's like, you sure you want to pull it on this one? You sure want to pull the lever for the... yeah. Okay.
For this rat.
Only 2 left.
Yeah.
And they say, yeah, we'll let you know how many are left. Mm-hmm. Pretty pathetic.
Yeah, he's a real certain type. And then who's watching that, dude? People go from CNN to Kimmel. Is that what they're up to?
I have a feeling no one's watching it.
Yeah.
A lot of those shows is just
again.
people who fell asleep watching the show before.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds crazy, but like I do that myself. Like I'll watch something and then I'll wake up like.
Yeah, I give a lot of people watch hours from falling asleep and it's auto-playing something else.
2 hours later and the TV's still on.
Laura Ingram's on.
And old people fall asleep easier than I do.
For sure.
So there's something to...
Promise is going from the only local company available for 10 years and going to Xfinity, 300 megabytes to 1 gig, same price. Well, here's the only problem with that. You're going to start having problems with the 1 gig up, 1 gig down. We switched from 400 up, 400 down to 1 gig up, 1 gig down. All kinds of issues. Phone keeps cutting out because it's 2.5 megahertz versus a 5 megahertz signal. Things are just janky now. It's kind of hard to really describe it, but I don't know. Something's off with it.
Be said about that. All right, next we have a clip out of Minneapolis where an illegal makes a run for it. So he's with his family. She kind of...
She blocks for him. She gets an O-line stance with the baby.
You think you're getting away?
Hands behind your back, through traffic.
It's just, what are they running
so
for?
Bad.
What are they running for?
When they tackle you and you can't put your hands up.
Why are they running?
Eventually gets bagged up.
Yeah. That's the intellectual capacity of some of the people we're actually arresting right now.
Yeah.
Not big thinkers.
Already have janky.
They're just doers. And what are doers? They're impulsive, and oftentimes they're criminals.
Crazy, dude.
And they don't get it done. Yeah. They don't get away.
This card
it's
is
like, all right,
just
I'm going to try and get away. And then you have 8 seconds of running, and now you're back in the van, and you probably have a little asterisk saying this was worse than just a normal apprehension. So I don't understand.
I don't either.
Next we have
Hey, I can't blame him for trying. Once you're getting
I'm
out
not
of the
playing
country,
this
is like real final shit.
This thing.
But
As soon as I
it's
went
our
rank,
job, to be ruthless about it.
Very true. And then we have
Keep
another
playing these
clip
damn
of a
net
delusional woman talking about ICE.
How's this for a motivational phrase? Our resistance will be talked about for generations.
I think actually...
she saw the Marvel movie.
Generations. Yeah, she just watched 300. But we're going to forget that Alex Preddy, I'll forget this guy's name in 6 months. That's literally what's going to happen instead of people remembering the resistance. Who's that guy who lit himself on fire? Aaron Bushnell. He lit himself on fire outside the White House or something. Bye. Gone.
That was for nothing.
Yeah. Dude could have a family now. He could have gotten a raise,
right,
made a smart investment, bought a house.
Nothing.
You're on fire and dead, though, instead.
And everyone forgot.
Yep.
Next, we have some teachers protesting, and here's
All right,
what
we'll
they
try a
say
couple more
about
ones.
ICE.
Because everything feels overwhelming that's going on right now, and I am tired of being told that what I'm seeing happening on screen versus what I'm being told is happening don't match up. And I have a lot of concerns about people believing the lies that are being told, and I have a lot of feelings of...
These white women have lost the plot, dude. These white liberal women, they're hopelessly lost at this point in time. I'm going to pray for them, Lord, that they have eyes to see and ears to hear, that the veils be lifted from their eyes.
About watching something like that happen on the screen. So, yeah.
Thank you. And I mean, for you, why is it important to be here?
I'm a teacher, and on Friday of this week, I had 4 different second grade girls ask me if they were going to be arrested or if their dad was going to go to jail for being brown. And I wanted to say to them,
Wow.
if you make good choices and you're a kind person, that won't happen to you. But that's not a promise I can make to them anymore.
So they have scared students.
4 of them. They came up
So
in single
they're
file
knowingly
line and said, "Is my
harboring.
brown daddy getting deported?" No, Sophie. Next.
Yeah. Where did they learn to be scared of this is the question. They learned it from you, and then you're trying to blame everything on Trump. But if you showed the kids crimes done by illegals, rape and assault and murder and all these horrible things, wouldn't your kids come to you and say, "Oh, are brown people going to kill me?"
Am I going to be raped by an illegal, Mrs. Johnson?
You know?
Like, that's what could happen if a right-winger was as fucked up mentally as you and wanted to, like, whisper anxieties into the children's ears, right?
Exactly. The anxieties come from the teacher, and the teacher's scaring them, and now the children are scared, and then they're reflecting that back to the teacher, and the teachers are going, "Oh, these kids are scared. That's messed up."
Yeah.
They don't know what's going on in the world.
Yeah,
They don't need to know.
Yeah, if you showed the kids SpongeBob, they'd be talking about SpongeBob all afternoon. That's how it goes.
You're talking about ice.
Yeah, it's a mirror. And I want to talk about this other woman's shirt, which is a big problem to me. Love, empathy, compassion, inclusion, justice, kindness.
Oh, look.
It's all like feelings. And then the one word that stands out is justice to me. And justice, in my mind, would be following the laws of the land, right?
And having a secure border and deporting people who are here illegally.
But justice to a liberal woman like this just means
This is
letting
gonna
my friend
actually
out,
be-
letting my illegal friend do whatever here. I don't know how they took justice. You know, criminal justice. They're trying to take justice, and it's not what it means at all, which is letting criminals out earlier and letting illegals stay here. So very disrespectful.
Yeah, they're trying to make justice a feelings-based thing.
Yeah.
So an injustice is whenever you don't feel right about something.
Exactly.
Then justice is when you do what I want that feels good.
Exactly. Whereas real justice is the laws and then getting punished according to the laws if you break them. That's justice. So that's very right-wing coded, and they're trying to steal that, and they have been for a
They're
while.
stealing justice.
Yeah.
That's a good point. All right, next we have a clip from the Sean Ryan podcast, which I really like that show, and I've watched a bunch of episodes. He interviewed a guy who was talking about Somalis.
Steve Robinson.
And he's talking about the Somalis and the fraud. And listen to what he says that stands out to him.
Cardiac arrests involving Somalis. It's like,
what else we got?
I kind of
exalted.
Grokked what she was getting to, and I was like, "You mean like are Somalis dying of natural causes and being reported?"
Johnny.
And she was like, "Yeah." She's like, "I was talking with Minneapolis police officers, and none of them ever remember responding to a cardiac arrest, aneurysm, stroke of a older Somali person." You know, just looking at the actuarial tables, you would think 100,000 people out there. The odds say that some of them are going to have heart attacks, they're going to die, and then the police or the emergency services are going to be called to respond. None of the police officers ever remember going to a Somali DOA. And so I go to some of my sources in the Lewiston Police Department and ask, "Do you remember ever responding to Somali DOA's cardiac events?" Like, they start laughing. Like, you know, we were just talking about this at the station, and no one really remembers responding to Somali DOAs. So
very nice of you to
So what's
offer.
happening? You know, based on that sample, you know, it's not totally scientific, but we know there's some natural deaths happening from medical events within the Somali community that are not being reported to the state, to the medical authorities, to EMS. Now, why is that? So what happens if grandma's got subsidized senior housing and EBT card and Medicaid benefits, and you report that she's passed away? Okay, so those benefits get shut off. Everybody can understand. Yeah, you just keep the benefits going. This is how you end up with Social Security, or more so the EBT cards, benefits going to dead people. But what are they doing with the bodies?
That's what I was going to ask.
What are they doing with the bodies?
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So they are keeping the bodies to keep collecting the money, and I'm sure there's some sort of unofficial morgue that keeps the bodies cold, but they don't even report the deaths to the state.
Yeah, yeah.
So no one's dying, and they just keep collecting the money.
And they could do a burial of some kind. We're not saying
What are you
they're
doing,
keeping
Shadow?
corpses in their houses or whatever.
But I was going to say they might be putting it in the food.
Yeah, I think you misinterpreted. I don't know. But again, this is one of those things, a big lesson of the show. Anecdotal first. You know? We can wait for a big study 6 years late, or you can kind of vibe it out and be anecdotal and talk to the cops. And talk to,
Great.
EMS.
To a cop who
God, I'm
goes,
getting my ass
come to think of
handed
it.
to
Yeah, it's
me,
been
man.
6 years. I got no
I
Somalis.
just lost. I just made like Platinum 2, and now I'm like Platinum 3. I'm trying to. I shouldn't be play testing this. Not like this. Funny how it does really well when I play standard, but the second I go rank, it doesn't really seem to do anything.
Somalis. So, very interesting and something to watch.
What's that movie where the
Might still be
barber
able to
puts
do
all the bodies in the pies?
I don't know.
I think Johnny Depp's in it.
I don't know. He's a barber and he's got scissor hands, and I'm combining two movies now.
Yeah.
Sweeney Todd or something.
Yeah,
I never
Sweeney
saw
Todd,
that.
actually. So that there could be a Sweeney Todd situation going on in Minneapolis, where they're making meat pies of the people and feeding them to the goy.
I think
I'm combining too many things too here now.
Yeah. I think it's more about the EBT.
That's our fast food. That's McDonald's and Burger King, allegedly.
Okay.
All right, let's get to our Somali business shutdown clip.
Everybody was dreaming to open business this month, but not anymore. It's very slow. We're not making any money. If this problem continues, I don't think we can have our business. I live South Minneapolis. If you walk around, you think nobody lives the area. I think ICE is here to destroy it, the Minneapolis, harassing people, closing our businesses. We have to come out and, fight our rights. I was volunteering last 3 days.
So business slowed down.
Yeah, and it's probably because
Yoda tax, long time
people
no see.
aren't spending their fraudulent daycare money as much anymore. It's kind of drying up.
Yeah.
And also people are probably not selling their EBT dollars for 80 cents on the dollar as much anymore.
Yeah, definitely. And then they just go, ICE is here. ICE scared people. And it's like, we kind of clamp down on some other things. Where nobody has a real job.
Yeah, ICE is here to just ruin our personal lives.
Mm-hmm.
We found a guy on Twitter who is going through every dollar that was spent by the government since 2000
really
and he's tracking it. It's pretty interesting. Can you read his tweet?
Yeah, his Twitter ad is BeaverD, and it says, finally have the infrastructure to ingest absolutely everything. Added 40
Get
trillion in
your
track
nose
spending
away
over the
from
last
my
2
milk.
days. When I'm done, every
Shadow.
single penny the government has spent since 2000 will be tracked and available online. So we got one of our autists on the case to help easily identify fraud and anomalous spending.
Yep,
pretty much.
so give him a follow.
All right, I gotta go back to my
good
tried and true
development. That's the kind of things we need
I'm tired of losing ranking.
does the government track it? Maybe they do, and they don't do anything about it.
Well, you've kind of seen it. Anecdotal and influencer or guerrilla journalism is kind of like leading where the federal government resources are put.
Yeah.
Hey, Just Cause, how you doing?
All the staffers of Republicans in Washington, D.C., they all consume media. They're all on Twitter. So it's kind of the tail's wagging the dog at this point.
Very true.
Which it's sad to say because a lot of this fraud is very easily identifiable, but it's important that someone's putting the laser pointer where it needs to go.
Yeah, Kash Patel needs to watch some podcasts to figure out what to do.
Pretty much.
Sick Gary.
Pretty much.
All right, let's get to our broader migrant section. First, we're starting off with some Medicaid fraud that I thought was pretty interesting.
Yeah, there's a headline that says 48 Texans charged a nationwide $14.6 billion healthcare fraud takedown.
About like a
and
Italian law?
Mehmet Sisyphus lifted some of the names of the people: Demetrius Gilmore, Gary Martin, Kadir Khan Mohammed, Olatubosun Usuyoka, Rami Abugnakari, Sasha Lashun. You know, the list goes on and on like that. A lot of Star Wars names, a lot of fake shit, right?
Yeah, pretty good.
And so I wanted to read a couple of this because, like, it's one thing to keep your dead Somali grandma's EBT card going.
Better.
That's one thing, right?
Keep her in the fridge, whatever.
Keep her in the fridge. Maybe slice off a hunk of the arm if you're feeling hungry. But
it's Somali salami.
Okay. But I just want to point out the difference because, like, obviously there's little scams, and we get pissed at the big fat black women with 8 kids who have a fridge full of sugary drinks and bullshit that they got from EBT, right?
Yeah.
Annoying.
But there's a difference between that and then what we've seen in Minneapolis and what we've seen in now Texas.
No.
This guy,
Yeah,
Mahmoud Sami Khan, sounds like the guy trying to take guns away in Virginia, of Houston, indicted for his role in an $894 million fraudulent COVID-19 testing scheme, charged with wire fraud and conspiracy to commit money fraud, right? That's almost $1 billion. That's not like small or low trust. It's like these foreign-born people are coming here to absolutely gut us, right?
$1 billion, basically.
Yeah. So I want to update the meme in everyone's mind. because here's another guy, Kadir Khan Mohammed, a citizen of India living in Richardson. Submission of approximately $93 million in false claims to Medicare for genetic testing never requested, ordered, or performed.
Wasn't my beard.
$100 million, almost $1 billion. Demetrius Gilmore, $19 million in false claims to the Department of Labor, right? And so
You lose like a whole
the
head of hair?
meme used to be that we're babysitting third worlders, right? People are coming in and they're not high IQ or high trust, and they can't feed themselves, or they can't get a job, or they can't live anywhere without needing government assistance, right? But it's actually way worse than that. It's foreigners like looting and gutting American money, right? They're looting the treasury. So
it doesn't even seem that hard.
It's not. That's the point.
You know, they just come here and just sign here.
So I kind of feel like an idiot, right? For not taking advantage of the treasury the way that these criminals are. I feel a little silly. Or shouldn't we feel a little silly? I don't know. Seems like we should. Look at that. Let me put this out. Okay. Last turn.
Create this LLC. All right, the money's coming.
Yeah. Well, you need a Medicare doctor and then a Medicare patient, and then you put two and two together, and it's like if we're both scammers, we can gut these guys. Right?
Crazy.
So I just want to say, update your mental model. It's not just about needing assistance and taking benefits. It's about yanking as much money as they can from Americans, right?
Very true. All right, moving on to our next story. New Orleans Police Department hired a police officer that was taken by ICE.
And the NOPD announced one of its recruits has been captured by ICE. According to Superintendent Ann Kirkpatrick, the recruit was hired before a judge signed an order for removal. She also says the recruit had a valid driver's license and social security number, plus passed the department's verification system. Kirkpatrick says no bond was set for the recruit and the removal process is underway.
So you have all those things, social security number, license, probably voted.
It's obviously not his social security number. If he's an illegal with an order of removal, we don't give those out to illegals, right, guys?
And then you present it to the police to be hired by the cops?
That's some real talented Mr. Ripley shit. I'm going to be a New Orleans cop. I'm illegal here.
Here you go. Here's my social security number. And you're watching
And then if you guys know, the chief of police in New Orleans is that old grandma lady. So not a real tight ship being run around, but it is very funny to watch another law enforcement agency come in and be like, all right, this guy's a bad egg.
Yeah.
Take him.
Pretty good.
But so that's how deep they are and insidious it is. This guy didn't think twice. He could have been a line cook somewhere and kept his head down. He'd probably still be here.
Yeah.
But it speaks to a level of bravado,
egregiousness.
Yeah.
Bravado. Egregiousness. It's a extended vocabulary.
Sure.
All right, can you read that next headline?
New head of the U.S. Cyber Defense Agency, CISA, Madhu Gatumokala, uploaded sensitive contracting documents into a public version of ChatGPT, triggering a DHS security review from Politico.
So it sounds like he was uploading a document to ChatGPT. He's going to say, summarize this.
Tell me what's important from this document. And it's very secure documents just uploaded to a public thing. And you guys know AI, anything you send to AI, it's kind of learning from that too. So if you ask a question, then it'll be trained on that question later. So this guy, Madhu, made a tough mistake there.
Oops.
Oopsie.
Let's get to our next story. Just an Indian guy. Indian guy made a mistake.
Yeah.
We have an Amazon story. Amazon axes 16,000 corporate jobs in operation called Project Dawn as it pushes AI and efficiency.
Yeah, Project Dawn. It's kind of funny that they will name it something. It's kind of like Operation Desert Storm or something.
Yeah.
Name it a cool name and then you're getting fired. What the fuck? I got wiped out in Operation Project Dawn. But so, yeah, 16,000 jobs, that's a lot for Amazon. And we just want to juxtapose this with Amazon had over 13,000 H-1B visas approved last year alone.
Huh. That's kind of weird. A bunch of people that don't speak the fucking language working for Amazon. Is that why everyone that delivers my shit are foreigners, it seems?
Oops. So AI efficiency is an Indian is replacing you.
Pretty much.
In America,
A
right?
cheap Indian is AI. And AI stands for also Indian.
Yeah.
Another Indian.
Nice work.
You got replaced by AI. Another Indian.
Another Indian, and he's actually kind of a slave now because his residency in America is dependent on him putting in lots of hours for us.
So true.
And you don't work that hard, American.
All right, let's go abroad. We have really good news in Europe. They're going to open the borders even more.
Finally, Prime Minister Narendra, we both know our greatest wealth are our people. That is why I'm so glad that we are signing an agreement on mobility. We will facilitate the movement of students, researchers, seasonal and highly skilled workers. And this is also why we are launching the first EU legal gateway office in India. It will be a one-stop hub to support Indian talent moving to Europe in full alignment with EU member states' needs and policies. This is good for our economies. This is good for the friendship between our people. And this openness benefits us all.
So after ruining Europe with migrants, now it's time to open the door to more Indians.
Not the time.
That's the takeaway.
Yeah, so dark.
Did anyone vote for that?
No.
Because
no one never comes up on a ballot anywhere, right?
It never comes up on a ballot. No one voted for it the first time. You already ruined Europe, and now you're saying we're going to bring more Indians in, but they're specialized, skilled students and workers. Oh yeah, us too.
It starts with highly skilled, and then you realize someone has a fake diploma from a shitty university in India, and they're hiring their cousin. It's not really highly skilled, right?
But Europe needs more, and still no one voted for it, and you ruined the country with it, and now you're doing it again.
Lombo says, what do you consider high skilled? High PDF skills? Yeah, high criminal scan skills? High essay skills, right?
And when no one would really vote for it.
Yeah, the same scam is going to work everywhere, right? Like when we showed you the one house that has 25 registered H-1B employees and somewhere in Texas, that's just going to be in Amsterdam now.
Yeah, it's so true. They know it works.
Yep.
All right, our last clip of our migrant section is a clip from Switzerland. This is people traveling on a fast-moving river, and if you notice, there's no migrants.
Believe it or not, these people aren't swimming for fun. They're literally on their way home from work. This is Bern, Switzerland, where floating down the Aare River after work is totally normal in the summer. On hot days, hundreds of locals pack their work clothes into waterproof bags and just hop in. They let the current...
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
No
you know what would make
migrants
it
there.
nicer?
Indians.
7 million Indian people.
Someone
in 2 years. Not only too many, but in too fast of a time, completely changing the river.
We need Indians in jeans and button-down shirts.
Staring at the women's asses as
and
they
then
jump.
going in the water in their full clothes. That would make it better.
Yep.
All right, well, that's the end of our migrant section. I'm moving on to the final page of housekeeping where I can say whatever I want. Use our opportunity to post, juicy algo, like, comment, notebooks. No notebooks.
Notebooks, huh?
Notebooks isn't part
game,
of it.
right?
Start journaling.
Algo and the link in the group chat and send stuff to the PO box.
Yeah, there you go.
That was probably the worst one I've ever done.
Honestly, it doesn't
That was
even matter.
horrible.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I like to have structure.
Okay.
Criminal
All right,
scams.
first thing, there was a Rapaway doppel from last week. You look like Fogel.
McLovin.
Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah, I reject your hypothesis, but here we are.
All right,
Actually,
let's
you know what?
highlight an interesting story, especially if you guys are parents and have young kids that love eating candy. A lot of the candy has arsenic in it.
Yeah, 60% of childhood candies contain dangerous levels of arsenic. Sweet Tarts, Snickers, Skittles, Kit Kat, Nerds, Sour Patch, Twizzlers. All right, I'm getting hungry.
Those are all the best ones.
I know. Tootsie Rolls, we can leave those out. Florida tested 46 popular sweets. 28 showed elevated arsenic linked to increased cancer risk with repeated exposure. So
here's the safe yearly limits for children based on detected arsenic. 96 pieces of nerds a year.
Yeah.
Those little dots.
Yeah. Sour Patch Kids, 36 pieces a year. Skittles, 48 pieces a year. That's less than a bag, right?
Yeah.
Snickers, 2.5 pieces a year. So you get it. A lot of arsenic randomly in the candy. And this is something that Florida is doing. And I like how they say childhood candies as if I'm not eating this shit too and getting arsenic all in my body.
So true.
But Florida did the same thing for baby formula, and they found a lot of heavy metals in their baby formula too. So if you're a new parent or whatever, look, because not everybody's doing this, but the state of Florida is, right?
Very good to know. So
what do we do about this?
I think
Eat whole foods and avoid candy and just use sugar and make Amish type desserts?
Yeah, you can kind of make Amish types of desserts that taste good. You can use like maple syrup, or you can use honey.
Cinnamon. They like cinnamon rolls.
You can make little things that still taste good. Cakes and stuff with good ingredients. Organic maple syrup and honey is a good sweetener to start with.
Now, I'm not familiar with this, but
Change
why
those
is there
foods.
any arsenic in anything? Do you know the answer to that, or are you
I
not?
think it comes from the soil that the products come out of. So I think for the chocolate, like the cacao comes from soil that has arsenic, I'm assuming.
Okay.
I don't know where the gummies come from. That's probably made in the lab, and maybe it's a byproduct of chemical mixing.
I don't know. If anybody knows, let us know, because
Let us know in the comments.
it's alarming. That's alarming either way. But
Yeah. All right. Let's
poison, right? We're just giving schlop. We're giving poison.
Yeah,
Every
not
day.
good. Next, we have a little bit of a debunk of an old wives' tale. I don't know what the word for it is. It's like an old thing that people used to go by, and it's about children as well and sleeping with your baby when they're newborns. Can you read that?
Yeah, this girl said, for thousands of years, babies slept with their mothers. When they cried, they were attended to. Then 2 men came along, Dr. Holt and John B. Watson. They said babies should be trained, that babies had to fit the assembly line schedules of their parents. Newborns must cry to expand their lungs, they claimed. Simply let them cry it out. And that's how the cry it out sleep training method was born. Watson treated babies like experiments. Never hug or kiss your child, he wrote. Shake hands with them in the morning. After all, mothers needed a rest to attend to their husbands and households.
I bet they're, you know what?
Watson had 4 children, 3 attempted suicide, 1 succeeded, and we still follow it today. Because once you convince a mother to ignore her baby's cries, you've broken something primal.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Doesn't really, when people say don't like be near your baby or don't nurture your baby, doesn't that just not really make sense?
Yeah, it doesn't ring true.
Yeah. So something to think about there.
Beware of new age hipster parenting techniques, I guess, is the main lesson, because you never know. And again, big theme of our show is avoiding experiments. You don't want to be in the experiment. Your country doesn't want to be the experiment. And your baby, a fragile little...
No, before I started freaking streaming, dude, I won 3 in a row, and best 2 out of 3. So I went from tier 3 to tier. I was just trying to brew like a new deck. You know, I don't like playing the standard fucking net deck bullshit. I like playing something somewhat original. Yeah.
Well, baby, certainly you want to avoid that.
And when you have a baby, it naturally comes to you what to do.
Yeah. Unless you're on SSRIs, then do not.
Do not.
Do not.
All right, next, we found an interesting AI video.
We?
Yeah, I hate this AI crap. Shit and french fries.
All right. So you get the idea. And the reason I wanted to show this, because I thought the tweet reply to it was so funny. The original tweet said, Hollywood is cooked. This whole video is made with AI. One guy with a laptop just replaced $200 million production. And someone replied and said, a video of an egg roll shitting a spring roll into an air fryer. Hollywood's done. That's so funny.
Nothing to add. Nothing to add.
You know,
No.
Hollywood's done. They're not going to be able to. They're not going to be able to make this.
There actually is. I mean, definitely like the people who like make Pixar movies and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's
I think
going to
Morning
disrupt
Mist is
something,
making a new
right?
deck.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
once she
Oh,
makes it, I can
It'll
help her
definitely
play
disrupt.
test it.
All right, our final piece of the final page of housekeeping, the doomsday clock is
Gave up.
85 seconds from midnight.
Here comes the Bulletin of Atomic Scientists, and they get out there.
It is now 85 seconds to midnight. This is the closest the world has ever been to midnight.
Good. Fuck your clock. What do these four know? They don't have a podcast.
Nothing. No podcast. Nobody listens to them. They don't have 100,000 viewers ever. Never
Yeah.
seen these guys pull 100K views.
We'll tell you when the world's going to end.
And it's so weird because it's this little dance around like nuclear fallout or the possibility of nuclear destruction. And it's like, it's a binary scale and they're trying to put a degree to it. Did someone launch a nuke today? No. Okay, reset it to 0.
So true.
And what, you want me to go through this?
Yeah, we have some other times in history where the clock has moved.
Yeah, 7 minutes to midnight, 1947, post World War II. This after the Soviets' first nuclear test. That was farther away than now. U.S. testing the hydrogen bomb, the end of the Cold War. Various places where we're much closer to midnight today than these high risk, like very new early situations, right?
It's so true. And someone made a good point online. They said the doomsday clock only gets closer to midnight when there's a Republican in office.
Of course.
And then when there's a Democrat in office, they back it off, even though the Democrat is doing stuff that actually will bring an end to the world faster.
Of course, dude.
So it's kind of fun.
It's just another one of those like, oh, this was an institution from a long time ago, and it was completely captured by libtards. And so what do we do with those institutions? Like the Oscars or the Grammys? We don't watch. We don't watch the Twink acceptance speech where they talk about, the Indians or Native Americans or something. I don't give a fuck.
We ignore and we make fun.
Boy.
Yep. All right, well, that's the end of housekeeping.
Yeah,
We're now moving on to
charged,
Cringe
buddy.
of the Week.
Okay, back up now.
All right, our first clip of Cringe of the Week is a message for all you ladies out there.
Ugh, how'd you get it all wet?
Hey, my fellow ladies out
Bummer.
there. So men think they own you.
Holy crap, guys, I think it's Taipan. Taipan's on the screen.
Get from somebody that used to be a man. You got boobs. You got a vajayjay. Guess what, honey? You own them. Trust me, they want it. Make them earn it.
Oh, God, it's so gross.
So this lady is actually a man pretending to be a lady.
What?
You can tell, because even though she's wearing women's clothing and has like cute hair,
Meta
you
is
can
for
tell
Don
just
Lemon
because
types.
of the face and body and the beard and everything.
Okay, gotcha. And I think she admitted it, too, at the beginning.
Yeah,
she
yeah.
used to be a man.
That's a clue, too.
All right, I'm learning. You're better than me at this. The funny thing is, like, I'm a woman, hello, fellow woman. And then it's not like your 5 o'clock shadow is showing. Like 3 weeks of giant bullfrog chin hair growth is showing. Yeah.
That's so good.
And then, the trans man, or whatever this is, you guys know which way they're going. When it's time to have a candid talk with women, you immediately identify them by their boobs and vajayjay. You start objectifying them. You don't see them as a whole person. You just go tits and puss. That's average trans guy, right?
That really is. And we have another trans update here. This trans disabled person is 1 year post-op.
And we've showed this before,
We've
right?
shown this character before.
Hi. Man. Man.
What the hell? So they experimented on this guy and turned him
Well,
into
I'm
a
happy for
trans.
him.
That used to be a
Honestly,
woman.
A lot of people need to be prosecuted.
What the
I was
hell?
going to say, the doctor who did this will arrive at his final
Hold it down.
judgment, and then they'll show him that picture, and he'll go, yeah, I guess that wasn't good.
Yeah, I'll see my way out.
Burning in hell for eternity? Yeah,
I guess so.
I guess so. All right, our next clip is
I heard he goes
one of
down
my
under on
least. What generation is this? Millennial?
This is millennial cringe, Reddit, total. This is my least favorite type of humor on earth. And let's preface this. This guy
Need
is
some
like some sort of
frickin'
fitness
mana.
influencer.
Here we go again. Another mana
former
F.
military guy, I believe. And
That's ridiculous.
he had something
Like,
go
what the
viral
fuck,
recently where
dude?
he was doing like this gay video
Fix
where
your
he's like
fucking
taking off his
stupid
jacket,
shuffle,
rolling up his
Magic.
sleeves and saying "fuck ice."
What
basically.
the hell?
So he got a lot of attention for that, and people were rightly clowning on him for it. And this is another video. We're not
Did
even
them
going to
all
show the
again.
ice video.
This is my
Got
least
another
favorite
2-mana
type of
hand.
millennial humor.
Stuck on 2 mana.
So I do this weird thing with some of my closest friends that I think you should try.
See, every single Wednesday, I
We got
send a
Aura.
bro check
Get my ass kicked by an
to
Aura
just
deck.
a bunch of dudes.
Another net
and they're
deck.
absolutely unhinged. Here's one I
Fuck this
sent
shit,
a few
dude.
weeks ago.
Oh, I'm so fucking
As
sick
it
of
has
this
been
bullshit.
fortified in our Constitution of Broman.
God, I'm so
one
fucking
man
sick of
shall
the way
check
Magic
upon
Shuffler
thy
is.
brethren, to ensure he hasn't traded his
Fix your
brain
bullshit,
for a bullet, or fallen
Magic.
to the bewitchment of a bandersnatch. How are you? The checking on your friends doesn't always have to be super serious. Your mental health can be up or down, and that's fucking normal. You know who doesn't check on their friends? V-Shred. Seriously, fuck that guy. Now, in addition to being Men's Mental Health Month, it's also Pride
Alright, I'm
Month.
gonna play Best
And these
Strat
things
3.
can
That's
coexist,
ridiculous, man.
And they can both apply to the same person. If you're watching this video and you feel tired and alone, I understand.
Lone Bull said he doesn't put shrimps in
So
the
if you
Barbie.
can, I would like you
He
guys
puts
to try
shrimps in the Kens.
Pick a day.
Somebody out there
Talking about
cares.
Taipan?
And it's like, no, you don't. Why
You know,
would a
'cause he's
stranger
Australian.
care? I don't know
Another
you at
shrimp
all.
in the
And
Barbie.
you care. That means you have no standards for what you care
Have you heard
for,
Lone
and
Bull's
I'm
freaking
not
Australian
special, and
accent?
you just care for
Classic,
anybody.
dude.
Yeah,
Hilarious.
totally.
So it's actually disrespectful.
Yeah, and then like speaking in the old
Another one of his
English
hidden secret
stupid
talents.
way to make like checking in. Hey, kill yourself, bud.
Yeah. No? Okay, just making sure. And like real friends would do the opposite.
Yeah.
They'd say, hey, you're a real fat fuck. You should just off yourself.
Lock in.
That's how
Lock
real,
in, pig.
That's how
Oh, goodness, man. Fleck shouldn't have said that. I guess Georgia Transparency is going to try to get him canceled now.
real friends talk.
How's your diet? You gained 5 pounds this week, you fucking
You
idiot.
should just fucking end it. You're so fat.
Yeah, it's a certain type of. This is a certain type of virtue signal too. Like I'm out there. Mental health's important. Also, if you're a gay pussy, it's Pride Month too. Like he's just kind of dipping his toe in everything with the stupid humor, man.
The cuts to him with no shirt on and all red. That's like my least favorite type of joke.
Gay mustache. It's very like a certain type of veteran bro who does this. Who
Yeah.
doesn't really have a sense of humor. He just copies things that he saw other people do almost.
And yeah.
Like he's not having original thoughts. He's just quoting Step Brothers.
Yeah.
Did we just become best friends? No, we didn't. I just met you. You're fucking. That's not funny.
That's
right?
very true. And it is a vet bro type of humor, which takes us to our lesson of the day. Last episode's lesson of the day was don't stand or sit on electric stoves.
Okay.
Remember that?
Yeah, I forgot.
This week's lesson of the day is
Put
there
that
are
into the
some
graveyard.
veterans that people don't like.
Yeah. Being a veteran, thank you for your service, brother. But doesn't automatically make you not a loser, right?
Exactly. There's great veterans, and I know a bunch of them, and they're awesome.
We
But
know
there's
a few
also veterans that
loser
suck
veterans.
as people, like Dan Crenshaw.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys know some veterans that suck. If you were in the service, you probably know some veterans that suck. If you're a bartender, you probably know some veterans that suck.
Veterans that aren't allowed at the bar anymore.
That's just how it is, you know? So a lot of times the boomers especially might, see veterans and assume, oh, that's
There's
a
my
great guy no matter
Abigail.
what. Sometimes veterans are a little annoying.
Yeah, cheat on their wife, do scumbag shit,
It's not good.
Yeah.
And then also that mustache he has.
Reddit, it's extreme Reddit.
It's Reddit, exactly. And if you had that mustache,
Yeah.
I would make fun of you every
Until
time
it
I
was
saw
cut.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I would bring it up probably every 40 minutes until it was gone.
Nice gay mustache. You're gay. Hey, you're really not doing that, right? You would say that.
I would go to a restaurant and I'd sit down, and when the waiter comes, I go, oh, sorry about his mustache. He's a retard.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I would never have a stupid red mustache like that. And this guy, man, this really pisses me off. I don't know what he is. Certain type of, it's hard to find words for it, where it's like he's got this big phony persona, where this guy probably yells at a waiter. You just know,
Yeah, it's I think the word you're looking for is a poser.
you get that vibe where he's like, hey, here's my very perfectly edited, curated social media thing.
Yeah.
And you just know he's a fucking rat.
And he's masculine.
Yeah.
But then he's rolling up his sleeves to say fuck ice. So you don't really get it.
You don't get it at all, brother.
All right, next we got
And this guy looks kind of big, like he lifts weights and stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and guess I could beat the fuck out of this guy.
I think he's probably on TRT.
I think he's somewhere down here.
Yeah.
That's why I'm making the guess. I don't think he's hitting 6.
That's a good
I don't think he's hitting 6 feet.
How tall do you think he is?
5'6", 5'5".
Wow. And he's
So-
probably on, looks like he's on TRT. He's got that thin skin and runs a little hot.
Yeah.
Not good. All right, let's go to our next clips. These next clips are 2 nurses, and they both let politics ruin the Hippocratic Oath they took. First, we have one who tells people how to kill ICE agents.
I thought of something good. I think it's something weird spot. Sabotage tactic, or at least scare tactic. All the medical providers, grab some syringes with needles on the end. Have them full of saline or succinylcholine, whatever. That will probably be a deterrent. Be safe.
So there you go. A nurse telling other nurses how to kill ICE agents.
Yeah, succinylcholine.
That's normal.
That's poison people really use to kill other people, if you've seen an episode of Forensic Files. And she suggests it for her political flavor of the month, right? And I think this woman got fired.
I believe she did.
Or at least from one job she got fired, and we're working on getting news to the second job. So, you do these little cute videos. Cute, in her mind. You completely cross a line. You're actually giving practical advice on how to kill someone. Succinylcholine. And, what do you think? Is this a game? Do you think, the little couple people clicking like on your post is worth it to lose your job?
So bad. And there used to be a time where there was honor in being a nurse.
Yeah.
Where you take care of everybody no matter what, because that's just your job, and you let the law figure out what happened after you sew them back up.
This is no different than a racist nurse. I don't touch N-words, like from 1955 or something, right?
Yeah.
So, ICE agent, if an ICE agent comes in, it's the whole point of, Hippocratic Oath. And do nurses even take the Hippocratic Oath? I don't know. Or is that just for doctors?
I guess.
But there's you serve anyone, you get them back to even, and that's life. There's no opinion on it, right? Even the fattest fuck, guy who's 800 pounds and he goes into cardiac arrest or whatever, you bring him back, and if he dies next week, he dies next week.
You still try.
But it's so interesting to see women throw away their careers for what? Social media points? It's not like anybody followed your advice.
Yeah, exactly. You got a little emotional because you're so ramped up from politics.
Yeah.
Which takes us to our next clip. This woman is a delivery nurse, and listen to what she says about Carolyn Levitt, who is pregnant now.
As a labor and delivery nurse, it gives me great joy to wish Caroline Levitt a 4th-degree tear. I hope that you fucking rip from...
These liberal white women are worse, dude. They're losing their minds.
Bow to stern and never shit normally again, you cunt.
So she lost her license for this, and I think she tried to claim free speech.
Yeah.
And it's you're a delivery room nurse and you're wishing complications onto your political opponents.
A delivery room nurse was wishing medical complications on a political opponent. I mean, talk about lost the plot. I mean, this is crazy. People lost their minds. Alright, I guess we do this. This should be fine. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Guess I do this. Right? I do this. And I swing for 5.
And basically calling for them to have life-altering issues. And then people will say, oh, I thought the right wing was against cancel culture.
Yeah.
When she loses her job. And it's nah, you work in a hospital with kids and you're wishing this upon people. I think you're done.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, but look at that petty guy. He was awesome. He was awesome.
And it's funny watching the left. I mean, we've seen it for a little bit with the Charlie Kirk stuff, but it's very funny watching the left live in 1/10 of the world that we lived in, getting fired for a wrong opinion or getting blacklisted in certain industries. And we're only scalping the most egregious examples they have.
Yeah, it's very true. Well, that's the end of cringe. Now moving on to urban decay. All right, our first story in urban decay is not from America, but it is an important lesson. There is a trend, this is in South Africa, where Uber drivers and their buddies are kidnapping attractive women.
I have my phone in my hand. Actually, I
All right,
cracked
so we won that one.
my screen guard by squeezing my phone so tight, and I had my handbag. Normally it's over my shoulders, but I just had it like between it, and I had like clutched it like this. And yeah, he just kind of tried to push me toward the car. So he actually didn't even try to take my phone. And the next thing, the door flung open, and there was a man inside that tried to pull me in. And he just said, "You're coming with us tonight, lady." And I luckily I'm strong. So I just elbowed him and wriggled around toward the back of the car. But
Oy vey, I got a funny feeling this is all... what is this? I think this might be hate or hoax hate.
Screaming, and what came over me was this lion's roar. I didn't scream from my throat. I screamed from my belly, and I didn't just.
And she got away, luckily.
Yeah.
Oh,
So trust that gut feeling, ladies.
All right, well, hold on. What happened? This guy was trying to snatch her up.
And yeah, he just kind of tried to push me toward the car.
I mean, she was looking. She's looking right at the camera, though. Wait, what is this?
I had my
Let me watch
phone in
this.
my hand. Actually, I cracked my screen guard by.
Oh, so this guy walks by first.
And I had my handbag. Normally it's over my
He's a certain demographic.
shoulders, but I just had it between it.
Look at her. She's like, "What are you doing?" He's circling around her. Here comes the car.
Clutched it like this. And yeah, he just kind of.
Well, that makes her. Doesn't that make her a racist because she clutched her purse because a dark-skinned man circled around behind her? I can't imagine why people get all kinds of clutchy about that kind of stuff.
Tried to push me toward the car. So he actually didn't even try to take my phone. And the next thing, the door flung.
So, did she think this was an Uber? You know, the hubcap missing off the tire.
Open, and there was a man inside that tried to pull me in, and he just said, "You're coming with us tonight, lady." And I luckily I'm strong, so I just elbowed him and wriggled around toward the back of the car.
Good job. Nice elbow.
And what came over me was this
Good job, lady. I misjudged you.
I didn't scream from my
You mean
throat.
mulligan this?
I screamed from my belly, and I didn't just.
And she got away, luckily.
Yeah.
So trust that gut feeling, ladies.
So she called an
the
Uber.
gig
She called an Uber, and the people that responded probably were using a legitimate. Oh, shite. They're probably using a legitimate person's account, but actually weren't legitimate. They were here illegally. So they were committing crimes under somebody else's account name, and they were going to become untraceable. That's crazy.
economy, especially in other countries, but especially in America, it's all third world grabbers now. So
Yep.
Uber Eats.
Yeah.
A lot of these gig economies are being filled by people that don't have the standards we have in this country. So keep your head on a swivel out there. We have a little bit of context.
The third worldification is coming here too. You guys saw who all came under Joe Biden. So the same type of these guys who are in South Africa, some of them might be here now.
And that's the kind of stuff they do.
Yeah, and apparently this is said it's South Africa, what they do. They're not actually working, but they have access to who wants a ride from the Uber company because they do work there, but at the moment they're not working. They can show up before the real Uber guy gets there and they have their victim. Not always the case. It's been Uber employees as well. So the ride share, this little vulnerability, you're outside your house for 3 minutes waiting for the Uber, max, right? You're paying attention to your app and kidnapped by street rats who are going to rape you.
Do bad stuff.
Yeah.
And we have a tip here from a former FBI guy, and he tells ladies the scariest place at night.
It's the #1 most dangerous place for a woman. You're looking at it. In 2022, nearly 15% of all robberies took place at gas stations.
Oh, wow.
These are perfect spots.
They said the #1 place to get robbed for ladies at night is at gas station. I didn't realize that.
For predators because they can loiter and wait for their victim without drawing attention to themselves. They know you have to get out of your car. They know your attention is going to be diverted while you're pumping gas. Add it all up, and this is prime hunting ground for thieves, carjackers, and rapists. So what can you do? Well, avoid seedy, rundown joints off the beaten path, especially at night. Before you get out of your car, scan
Oh,
the
lay
area
down,
for
buddy.
anyone who doesn't look right,
Lay
like
out in a
men
second.
who are hanging out and not pumping gas. If it doesn't look right, trust your instincts and drive away. If you decide to gas up, spend the least amount of time possible outside your car. As soon as the pump starts running, get back in the
Good
driver's
tips,
seat
ladies.
and lock your door until your tank is full. Keep your purse, your phone, and any other valuables in sight. And most importantly, never let your tank get so close to empty that you have to stop at the first gas station you see. Share your thoughts in the comments below.
Never let your gas tank get so empty that you
Especially
have to stop at
you
the
want to
next
have
gas
choice on
station
where
you
you're
see.
going, gas station wise, right?
That's a very good tip, ladies. Write it down.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think these days the third worldification of America is obviously on what, year 6 or something, and you know, Ubers, gas stations. You really have to be head on a swivel at these places.
I think my opponent got frustrated. They got stuck with 2 lands. And we got 2 ticks for a rank up. We're back up to platinum tier 2 now. What's the matter? Oh yeah, I gotta let Shadow out real quick, guys.
And then just go to the nice places.
Okay.
Go to the fully lit gas stations, not the seedy ones, and have your husband do it
All right,
too.
buddy, hold
Very
on.
true. We like to give tips too. We like to be productive.
Yeah.
And then also, it's funny. I listen to like some true crime podcasts, and all the women are always like, "Listen to that gut. Listen to that unspoken thing." And then, but they'll never say what we say, which is like, "Yeah, watch out for black people who look at fucking fucked up." Right? So we'll go a step further. But it's offend people season. It's like get out of there season. That goes for Ubers. That goes for the gas station. That goes for anything on Facebook Marketplace or whatever, or Craigslist, wherever people are selling things. If you kind of get a stinky vibe, you just go, accelerate away, and like, who cares? What's the most you could have made? $60 off the mountain bike? You know?
I'm a microbiologist. I just wanted a mountain bike.
Yeah, it's not really worth it if you have even the biggest inkling. And you guys know who commits all the crimes.
Yeah, you know who to watch out for. So, all right, let's get to our next story. Some Chicago teens yanked an ATM out of a store.
Using a crowbar and sledgehammer to get inside. Once in there, going straight for the ATM as several suspects were outside preparing for their getaway. Video from in the store shows the moment they hit the gas. It took under 5 minutes to cause thousands in damage and losses.
And this is a big loss for a small business, you know.
Abu Daher says this is the second time he's been broken into since he opened the store in July 2025. He now keeps the register open at night to show anyone up to no good there's no money to steal.
How much could you even steal out of an ATM?
I think like $2,500, maybe $4,000 max. Like and especially a smaller corner store like that, where it's privately owned and someone just restocks it themselves.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then you
Six
have
guys.
Six guys, $2,500. Everyone made $550.
Everyone made $550, and then the bill to fix the door of the convenience store was like $4,800.
Yeah.
So you're causing more economic havoc than you're even getting back.
And it's not even worth it. And then they called on the news, they called them Chicago teens, which makes them sound nice, like just some kids up to some mischief.
Yeah.
Chicago teens.
How do you know they're teens?
Yeah, exactly.
All I see is black people with ski masks on. That's all I see. I don't know if they're teens. And a stolen car.
Yeah. And this is in Chicago. And then when Brandon Johnson was asked about it, he said, this is because some people think the South should have won the Civil War.
Yeah. Or something like that. He probably jumbled the delivery.
This is because of slavery.
Yeah.
All right.
Which Donald Trump is trying to bring back.
Yeah, it's all about Trump. Let's get to our next clip.
He said something about after-school programs.
Yeah.
If only these kids had basketball to go to, in a stupid voice where it's kind of quivering.
Yeah.
If only these kids had somewhere to go.
It's because the YMCA is too expensive.
It's because Walmart left the South Loop.
Yeah. All right, let's get to our next story. This is just a random clip from a restaurant, but look what these three are up to.
It's the assist. It's like a LeBron to D Wade. Alley-oop for $18.
For $18 from a restaurant you're eating at right now.
Yeah.
And then the Democrats will say that they need to take the cameras down because they only show black people doing crimes and it's racist. And
nothing for me there. Yes. More black crime in Urban Decay, guys. Anything else?
Can you believe it?
Yeah.
And the interesting thing that we talked about before is how they're all down for it. Like if I was at a restaurant with
6 kids at the Chicago Teenager, 3 people who thought they were just eating.
They're all down. Like there's an opportunity to hit a lick, and then everyone's like, yeah. If I was at a restaurant with you and Chinese Donut Boy,
and Donut Boy started stealing,
we would go, whoa, what are you doing?
Put that back, right? What the fuck? Are you drunk?
No one would be down, right?
Yeah.
But this wasn't even their plan. The opportunity just presented itself, and they went 3 for 3.
Yeah.
All 3 are like, all right, let's do it. Yeah. Here you go. I'm looking out.
Crazy culture.
Isn't that crazy? Mm-hmm. So that's something to keep in mind. We have a tweet here that I wanted to read last episode, but I forgot. Remember last episode, the woman was arguing on the bus with the other woman who told her to stop talking on speakerphone?
Or she was playing reels on her phone. She was watching content at full volume.
And then an old lady called her out, and then she's like, you're being rude. You're playing your phone on loud. And then she said, no, you're being rude for saying that to me. I found a tweet that sums up that scenario.
Yeah, this guy said, blacks have fundamentally different concept of shared spaces. White culture thinks, I'm not in my home. I have to respect others around me. Blacks treat shared spaces as, I'm not in your home. You can't tell me what to do. I can do whatever I want in public. You can't stop me.
Something to think about.
That's interesting. I actually agree with that perspective for sure.
Yeah, there is a big difference there. And it's if you get called out for your behavior in public, they tend to say, well, you don't have a right to call me out. You ain't the police. This ain't your restaurant. This ain't your bus.
You know what? I actually have an anecdotal story, which is something that we've covered in Urban Decay before. You know how we've talked about the chicken bones everywhere?
Yeah.
And people whose dogs eat chicken bones because a certain type of individual is eating wings and goes like this, throws it on, doesn't even get it to the trash can. I saw some girl posted a TikTok of like local St. Pete, where we're from, and she was like, can people please stop doing chicken wings on the ground? Like my dog, I have to watch my dog like a hawk on my walk. And the comments were like arguing with her. Like people, faceless profiles and stuff like that, you know what ethnicity or what race they may have been, were like arguing for their right to throw chicken bones on the ground. It's like an insane thing. Like even if you were like the guy who was throwing chicken bones on the ground, you'd be like, oh shit. Like you kind of look away, look the other way.
They noticing.
Yeah. But to actively argue for it, to litter chicken bones on concrete.
You don't own the park.
You don't own the sidewalk. It's the exact same energy as that, like, I'm not on speakerphone. Knuck if you buck, son.
Knuck if you buck.
All right.
Our last clip of Urban Decay is what we mentioned in the intro. There's a new movie out that's glamorizing looting.
What would be your biggest challenge in a job like this?
I shop here a lot, and I feel like I should have it all. Just want to take it all home, eat it up, and shoot it out my eyes. I just feel like, give it to me. It's mine anyway.
That is such a good answer.
What's a booster? Somebody that steal clothes from a store and sell it at a discount price? It's like community service. I call it triple F. Fashion, forward, philanthropy. I know how to spell philanthropy. Branding, though. Together, we empty out every single Metro designer in the Bay Area.
It's the Velvet Gang. They're boosting from my stores.
It's these fifth post weeks.
You guys already do this.
The plot of the show is stealing from retail establishments in the Bay Area. And it's a group of black women doing it.
Let me guess, based on a true story.
Something progressives and racists can enjoy in the theaters this spring. Who makes movies like this? And then with some artsy gay twist. What a stupid, pointless movie.
Yeah.
And all the white people go, yes, you're allowed to steal.
You're allowed to steal because reparations.
And then, dude, they get, you know how a movie is. 200 people get to set.
Yeah.
It's about stealing clothes from retail establishments. Oh, that's believable. That's very realistic. Is this based on a true story?
That's so true.
It's interesting that they're kind of leaning into the content like that. Like, that's the culture.
Yeah, because you take the cycle. It's not happening. It is happening, but only a little bit. It is happening a lot, and it's actually good.
Okay, it's happening, yeah, and then Actually,
it's like that, where it's like, oh, looting, that's actually part of our culture. All right, well, don't get too down or too depressed. We're now moving on to uplifting gold, and we have some uplifting stuff today. All right, our first piece of uplifting gold is a picture of New York City in 1879.
This is what the Upper West Side of New York City, 84th Street, Broadway, looked like in 1879, and it is rural.
Crazy.
That's interesting. I thought it was more than that.
Yeah.
You know, the Dutch, weren't the Dutch the original founders of NYC? And they
Yeah. Dutch. But there's something.
I thought it was more built out than that. And we lived kind of near there, you and me, remember?
Yeah.
Broadway?
Yeah.
96 and Broadway, that subway station?
Yeah.
Isn't that where we used to go?
94th and West End, but yeah, a couple blocks from each.
Yeah. 94th and Broadway was the subway stop. Or maybe
But
it's
there was
96.
something there about New York City and any city in general. If it was that in 1879, and then 100 years later, we're on the moon.
Yeah.
Aliens.
All right, whatever.
Aliens gave us the tech. You don't just go like that.
Okay. All right.
Something happened.
Whatever.
All right, next, there's a prank I thought was really funny.
I'm not a man. Why are you calling me man? Why?
He never called you. He never called you man. He never called you man.
Why after I told you I'm not a lady, did you just say I'm right here with the lady 3 more times? Why'd you say that?
Why are you being disrespectful for it?
How am I being disrespectful? I told you I'm not a lady. Why are you going to sit there and talk to your boss and say I'm right here with the lady 5 times?
Okay,
Why are you gonna say that?
I'm right here with the ma'am. What do you want me to do?
With the man. Why you just do it again? Why are you doing that? You think you slick, bro? I don't even know why you keep trying to help her out. I'm trying to help her out there. She's rude. Why
Yeah, she is being rude right now. I don't know what you want me to do.
I want a manager. I would like to speak to a manager.
Yeah, just stop helping her then.
I'd like to speak to a manager.
Tell him.
I'd like to speak to a manager. I would like to know why this man keeps calling me ma'am after multiple times I've said I am not a ma'am, I'm not a lady, and I keep getting called a lady. I would like to know why that continues to happen. I'd like to speak to a manager.
At the end, it calls him ma'am again.
Yeah, decently funny. Something doesn't say, you like this shit a little more than I do.
Yeah.
I just see a white guy getting harassed by a minority, and I go, get out of the country. That's my kind of angle.
I just think it's so funny that people get upset.
Yeah.
Like if someone called me ma'am, I'd be like,
I'd be walking away.
Are
yeah.
you doing a prank?
Yeah.
Is this for your TikTok?
Okay, that's the third ma'am. Where's the camera?
Yeah.
Is what you really should be doing.
Like, who cares?
Yeah.
But it's pretty funny.
People are wound up.
Yeah.
People are a little wound up. And when someone's visibly fucking with you, you just like, you move on.
Who cares?
Yeah.
All right, next, this guy has a skit. And it says, when your friend who uses ChatGPT constantly starts sounding like AI.
Yo, Lucas, you want to go for a drink tonight, bro?
Getting a drink sounds great. I mean, you're socializing with friends, getting out of the work hard life, and, you know, it's awesome. Let me know where you are and what type of drinks you want to go for, and we'll take it from there.
I don't know if I want to go anymore, to be honest. Don't know if I can be bothered.
No pressure on that. I mean, if you don't want to go for drinks, you don't have to. Friends will always rely on you when you need them, and it's honestly no biggie.
And the delay in the response, too. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, next, we got, it's like a uplifting and a shout out. We have a show watcher, Daniel, who completed a marathon, I believe, in Miami. And listen at the end what he does.
Sorry, Daniel, you can't use copyrighted music.
So we'll fast forward through it. Here he is running. He's got supporters. He's got a nice pace. There he is finishing. And listen to his finishing message at the very end.
Powered by Fletcher's Talks, the podcast, the best news podcast of all time.
Doesn't that feel good?
Nice
we
work.
powered that.
Yeah, we get credit for something we didn't even do.
We, all three of us, 1, 2, and Daniel.
Your first marathon.
Did my first marathon. I'm going to put that in my profile.
Good for you, brother. What profile?
You put it on your profile. You say like, oh, Miami Marathon 2026, next Vegas, February.
Oh, okay.
And you talk about all the marathons you're going to run.
I got you.
All right, our last clip of the show, our Pure Americana clip of the week, we have Trump receiving some prayers.
Where is this, in Iowa? Is this old?
I don't know. This is recent.
When was Trump in Iowa?
I think he was there talking to people.
Oh, yeah, John Deere maybe or something?
Yeah, and he was just talking to people at the restaurant saying, what do you want? All right, that's nice. I just like to see Trump doing Christian things, you know, getting prayed for and liking it, and then the prayers help him.
There you go.
So everyone can include Trump in your prayers. All right, well, that's the end of the show, but we do have shout-outs. We have a happy birthday to Christopher, who turns 45 on January 30th. We got a picture of him here with his motorcycle.
Happy birthday,
They
Christopher.
made that.
What?
They made that image for us to use.
Very nice.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Christopher. It looks great.
Yeah.
That's
Nice
very
one.
cool. Happy birthday, Christopher. We got a happy birthday to Mike Tardif on January 30th. He's a big, strong guy.
You sure you want to use his last name?
Yeah, I do.
Happy birthday, Mike.
He's an Iron. I follow him. It's like Iron Mike or something. I follow him on Instagram.
Okay.
He's a big, strong guy. He does
Some people get
jujitsu.
sensitive.
Yeah, sometimes people email me in a panic saying, hey, I shouldn't have given you the first and last name. Now my husband's upset. Please delete that from your already released YouTube video. Put some work on my schedule.
Give Fleckers a little homework assignment where he's got to go in and edit in the app, and you're the one who asked for it.
Hey, I'm happy to give everyone a shout out.
Yeah, but you do need to be careful. If you don't want your last name or you don't want your stuff, you got to be careful.
All right, we had a happy birthday to Zoe. Her birthday was this week. She's a great mom, and she loved the Cribs tour of my house.
Happy birthday, Zoe.
Happy birthday, Zoe. We have a happy birthday to Dalton, who turns 19 on January 30th. He's a great lacrosse player.
Happy birthday, Dalton. Keep it up with the lacrosse. I like that name, Dalton.
Dalton. That's a good American name.
Yeah.
And lacrosse, too.
Yeah.
We took that from the Native Americans.
It's ours now.
Yeah. Happy birthday to Sarah on January 31st. She's a stay-at-home mom to Atticus, whose birthday we celebrated last month. Remember that?
Atticus?
Atticus? My paws are, you know the
Happy
line.
birthday.
Happy birthday. And she's a stay-at-home mom, so she's got like the easiest job ever.
Yeah. Well, it depends on the age of the
So Atticus, that comes from the movie Taboo, or the series Taboo. Atticus was the guy with the bald head and the maps all over his. Yeah, okay, I remember that. All right, let's get something else queued up here, folks. All right. Well, I guess we'll give her a. Hopefully, she doesn't get too shrill. Hopefully not. Man, I am feeling a little nauseous right now.
Another deranged
Maybe I'm
leftist
preggers.
has been shot by ICE when he was out there doing nothing but protecting illegal immigrants who are here to rape and murder your children. Instead of celebrating the
Let's see, Hulk Mash, they do it because they can't think of anything better to try and get a reaction. Wait, what happened? What did I miss? Nothing personal that I can find or see. Wow, that's brutal. Is that a new word? Yes, Uber, South Africa. I've never let my wife go to any store or gas station at night. Keep it full. What's up with people calling KFAR stolen valor? Yeah, that is very weird. I think the more you let people know that something bothers you, the more they want to do it. And I think Mimsy's got the right of it.
loss of one of our
People are
enemies,
just small and
the
they want to
right
feel bigger.
is clutching their
I think small people want to feel a little bit bigger. I think that's when it comes right down to it. All right, so I just got a card, Brandy, and I got to make a deck around it. So you get the same challenge. The next card that you win, you have to make a deck around it. Okay? All right, so I got Aggressive Symbiosis. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1, has Menace and a Symbiote in addition to its other types. You may cast this card from your graveyard by discarding a card in addition to paying its other cost. What the hell is a Symbiote? Okay, well, alright, let's make a deck. Oh, you just got one? Alright. Standard. Usually it shows it. Where is it? There it is. No, that's not it. Where the hell was it? There it is, right here. Okay, so I got to put 4 of those in my deck. Now, what is a symbiote? So I guess this is a symbiote soldier hero. Flash menace. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, you draw a card and lose it. Okay. They're all like legendary. Looks like exile this card from your graveyard. Put 2+1/+1 counters on target creature. It gains death touch until the end of the turn. Active only on sorcery. They're all legendary? Oh, okay. So, okay, that's symbiosis. This is a creature, a might. Okay, symbiote. Looks like they're all legendaries. So that's going to be difficult. Huh. Well, this one, Vigo. Alright, chat. Let's check this out.
Pearls, crying, pulling out their hair and gnashing their teeth because imagine if the left was in charge. Some of you are not cut out for doing what needs to be done to get rid of the Bolshevik revolution that has taken over our country. Crying and screaming, and all of a sudden you're all experts about how much force ICE is supposed to use when they're literally being targeted. They know that these people have group chats, they're tracking them, they're trying.
Okay, I can't deal with the screaming. I'm sorry, guys, I can't deal with her screaming. I can't do it. I can't do it. Oh, let me lower her volume a little bit. There we go. Maybe that'll make it a little more palatable. Let me know if you guys can still hear this.
To unmask and dox them
Is that
so
better?
people can go find them, follow them, and kill them. And you're over here crying because a file protector got taken out. No one likes
Can you still
to
hear
see
that?
the loss of a human life. I'm not so cold and callous that I watch these things happen, even what happened to Renee Good or what happened to this guy, Pretty, I don't know what his first name is. They all seem to have these very catchy last names. I feel bad for the loss of human life. However, the difference between me and everybody who's crying about it online is I realize that the loss of human life did not happen when these people were shot. That was the culmination of every action they've taken in their life until that point. The actual loss of life occurred the minute these people adopted a neo-Marxist ideology, which led them to such a deranged psychological state that they are on the streets risking their life to protect Somalian scammers, where it has been exposed that they have robbed and defrauded the nation of close to $19 billion. People who have come here and sodomized, killed children. People who are coming over here totally fracturing the medical system by not paying for any of it and getting all of the benefits that you and your ancestors have paid for with your tax dollars. Spare me this fake compassion that we are being whipped with. Where is your heart? Where is your mercy? No. Where is your heart? Because you led these people down a dead-end ideology just so that you could get to a level of power. So don't start crying these crocodile tears when we finally say that's enough and start holding these people accountable for their actions. You cannot let people be down in the streets protesting when they are literally trying to run over ICE agents, when they are creating roadblocks, they're creating autonomous zones where you can't even police them. The Minneapolis police force is refusing to comply with federal agents. This is a full-scale subversion of your nation, and you're crying because one of the people who went down there with the intention of causing harm and havoc got taken out. Sorry, I'm not gonna cry. And I'm not somebody who is pro big government, none of that. But if you're gonna say all this crap about, oh, they're gonna start using it against us, they already have been using it against you. Let me remind you about the way they behaved when old Charlie Kirk took one to the neck. They were out there chanting, celebrating, reenacting, making t-shirts. If you stood up for him, they said you were next. Did you see one single person on the left admonishing their side. Did you turn on CNN or MSNBC and see Rachel Maddow say, look, I didn't like Charlie Kirk, I didn't like what he stood for, but people celebrating his death and taunting his family is wrong? Did you see that? No. You know why? Because they are all aligned on a single purpose. They will not disavow a single person on their side. It doesn't matter if they're more extreme. They don't care. The right is still trying to do this game where they're like, what about civil rights? And what about our liberties? What about principles? I don't know how to explain this to you. That when you are dealing with commie, Bolshevik, genocidal murderers, you playing by the rules and respecting people's civil rights and civil liberties is going to get you and your children killed. If a guy breaks into your house in the middle of the night, you don't stop to ask him what he's doing there. If you have a weapon, you take deadly force against him because you have people in your home you want to protect. Unless you're some kind of lunatic liberal who enjoys watching your wife get raped and your children get murdered. All of this pearl clutching and crying and dissecting and analyzing what the ICE agents were doing, you guys aren't there. Sorry, you're not there. You're not down there. You're not dealing with what these people are dealing with every single day, where their lives are in danger, and they are doing this because they want to protect your country while you sit behind a keyboard and you pick apart every action they do. No, we're not doing that. Those are the enemies, right? Those guys are here raping, murdering, stealing, thieving, correct? Those are your enemies.
You remember what
if you were in a war with those people, you would be actively trying to kill them. And then you go, yeah, but these people weren't. No, right, but they're working for them. Are they helping them?
Maybe you have a certain color
Are there people who are helping your enemies?
Number?
Are there people who are getting in between
Painter's
you and your enemies
servant?
so that you cannot deal with your enemies fairly? Guess
You don't
what?
have any
They're part of the
filters. Go ahead and make sure you clear everything.
Understand?
Like reset
if
everything.
you feel
Click
like,
OK.
oh, there's something on our side that needs to change,
Painter.
you take that privately. You don't blast that out so everybody sees the fracture points on our side.
The only painter I see is a Painter's
ultimately
Studio.
Why people on the right, conservatives, always end up getting killed in a Bolshevik revolution because they have no
Servant of
idea
the Stinger
what they're up against.
and
They think
Dragon
they're
Lord
still in this,
Servant.
like, civil
Those are the only
discourse.
servants I see.
Remember when suddenly protesting your government was sedition?
I
Remember
don't
how
think
they
so.
changed
Oh,
meaning
you know
of
what?
words?
It might
and
be
they
a
wrote out the
arena card.
Constitution, and they're having the legals vote in your elections,
Yeah,
and
let
they're
me see.
literally not respecting your elections because they invented votes
Yeah, it's
where
probably
they didn't
arena.
exist. Remember
So
when
it would
Tina
have to be
Peters
an
was
arena deck.
arrested for daring to report fraud in her county in Colorado?
I mean, I
Remember
can
that?
switch it. Let me see if I can switch
No,
this
you're
to arena.
acting like all of a sudden
This thing's still
all
glitched
of our
out.
civil liberties have been thrown out. When we've literally been living in a post-constitutional America,
far around.
and all of a sudden
Shadow,
we're waking
go
up
lay
today,
down.
we're fighting back
Give him a little bit of
against it,
food.
and now
Go get
you
your
want to
toy.
cry about the way we should be
Go on,
playing fair.
entertain yourself.
You don't play fair with people who want to kill you. That's it. And you guys need to understand that they want to kill you. Don't forget to go to my website, leonardoisfunny.com,
Talking to me?
and register for my newsletter. It's
Oh, you're telling him
completely
to go.
free.
Yeah, I'm always a
You
good
will get updates from me, like when I'm coming to your city, which you can also click here, buy tickets, and see when I'm coming. And if you'd like to be part of my exclusive group, simply sign up for a premium membership and you'll get to watch all my exclusive, uncensored content saying things that would get me banned on YouTube. It's also an excellent way to support your dissident right news podcaster who's trying to fight the system with a shitty mic. I just want everybody to know, I did try to buy an actual microphone, but it turns out that this piece of shit doesn't work with the USB-C cord, even though they said it did. So for now, I have to deal with whatever this is, which is probably sending out a Bluetooth cancer radius, but I'm trying my best. I am still a woman, and I am not technologically savvy. Last but not least, let's not forget to support our sponsor, AntelopeHillPublishing.com. Taking on the publishing empire, which is gay and run by women who want to see you zogged out of your brain. Antelope Hill Publishing has the kind of books that's going to get you put in a communist concentration camp if they win. So better read these books and learn some tactics about how to defeat the Bolsheviks before they light you on fire while you're simply trying to worship the creator of the universe. I've been talking about the book about Japan's Socialist Party and Spain's Socialist Party. They've also got one about Italian Socialist Party. I don't know why I said that like that, but it doesn't matter. They've got a lot of great books. One of my favorites is The Culture of Critique.
MG said it's a scientific fact that hormones and technology don't mix. Trifold Publishing Company. Talking to me?
Critique by Kevin McDonald, who lost it all to tell us the truth. Make sure you guys use my promo code Leo for 10% off. Thank you guys. One of the things I love about these absolute disgusting people who are going down there to get in the way of ICE is that they talk about the children. The poor children. The children are being suffering. These children of the migrants. Okay, here's a picture of all of the innocent people who were murdered or by an illegal, either here or in Great Britain. Where is your compassion for these children? Oh, you don't care about them because they're white? Cool. I don't care about you. And if you go down there and you try to get in the way of ICE, I'm not going to cry any tears if something happens to you. Because you are defending people who want me and my progeny dead because of my DNA. I don't have time to think about what your civil rights are. Goodbye. Here's another one. The communist who got himself killed fighting with ICE, that happened the same day, by the way, that an illegal alien, an 11-year-old girl. Did you see any of the left who cares about the children, cares about the innocent people crying about it? No, because they actually are happy that this happened. And we have to be aware of how much the media is lying to people and telling them that certain things happened when they didn't. Here's a great example, right? Because they love to manipulate your emotions. And this is what you have to understand about these commie Bolshevik bastards. And from now on, we're not calling them the left. We're calling them genocidal Bolsheviks because this is exactly what they are. And you need to understand what their agenda is because it's been the same agenda since the invention of Marxism. They weaponize your compassion, your empathy, your sense of justice. They do not follow that same code. They know that you will follow that code. And so they try to invent injustices that are happening so as to appeal to your good nature and get you to disarm and understand why you're wrong. But when it comes to their side, they don't care that these kids are being molested, that these kids are being brought in illegally by coyotes who are human trafficking them, oftentimes for sexual nature. They don't care about that. They don't actually have a moral code. But they know that you do, and you keep falling like a dumb idiot who thinks you are playing fair game. Oh, they call me a racist. I'm not racist. Oh, they call me a homophobe. I'm not homophobe. Shut the up. Just cut it out. If you want to be a pussy, stay home, shut up, or join the left. But get out of the way because you're going to get somebody killed. So here's a story. You can see that the Democrats' X account posted it. They posted this blatantly. The news channels are all beaming this home. If you got your little boomer parents at home, this is what they're hearing from their TV. ICE Minneapolis arrested a 5-year-old coming home from preschool and tried to use him as human bait. His teacher describes him as a bright, I'm sure he's super bright, right? These monsters are sick. So this is a story, right? Well, do just a little bit of digging. Oh, look at even Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton, yeah, I'm sure Hillary Clinton really feels so much compassion for the children. Sure. Terrorizing a population, right? They all ran with it. And I saw this on people who are supposedly on the right also running with it. Like, this is so wrong. This is what I'm talking about. There's like this virtue signaling going on the right. Like, you want to prove to your enemies that you're not this evil Nazi they accuse you of. Look, I feel compassion for the little terrorized child. I feel compassion for the commie defender. You don't understand that you're already guilty to them. You're guilty not because of anything you did, not because of anything you said, but because you belong to a group.
All these comfortable white people who are living lavish, comfortable lives, nice lives with your lattes, absolutely nothing for your Latino and Somali brothers and sisters.
A particular genetic group, and you are not disavowing your group. So nothing you can do, short of becoming a full-blown, self-hating communist who tries to self-annihilate, is going to make you not guilty in their eyes. You need to understand this. Stop the pearl clutching, stop the crying, stop the trying to virtue signal. I'm one of you. No, cut it out. Because it's pathetic, it's weak, and it's gay. And you're really disgusting me, by the way. Some of you are really disgusting me. Like, you act like you didn't see them literally want us dead. You act like you didn't see these people straight up abusing you because you weren't wearing a mask during COVID, screaming that you should have a winter of death because you didn't want to take a clot shot, which we now know is giving everybody cancer. You're acting like you didn't see this, and all of a sudden you want these people to think you're a good person. You're pathetic, man. You're pathetic. Set this one out. The U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement actually clarified. They said this is a lie. The child was abandoned by his father, a criminal illegal alien from Ecuador who fled from our offices. Our officers ensured the child was safe. Does your heart also ache for the thousands of families who have lost loved ones
I got it set up,
violent,
babe.
criminal,
Whenever you're
illegal
ready.
alien murderers? You haven't tweeted about these
The
angel
beloved
families
challenge.
once. Yeah, that's actually what's sad.
Hmm.
People's children who've been killed because an Indian
hold on, I
truck
gotta
driver
put
totally
better land in it.
forged his documents, can't speak English,
I do
and
want
then
to win.
is
You know.
stupid enough to not understand that you can't make a U-turn in the middle of a highway. Where is your compassion for those people?
Ah, buddy.
And the fact of the matter is the father abandoned his child, and ICE was knocking on the door where the mother was inside saying, hey, we're not going to arrest you. Just take your child. And she was refusing. And then finally, the father said, I want the child with me. And so ICE reunited him with the child. But the media doesn't care. And they don't really care about this kid. They just know that you're going to, and you're going to whip yourself and self-emulate because I'm so bad. Pathetic. Just super pathetic. On January 20th, ICE conducted a targeted operation to arrest Adrian Alexander Conyeje Arias. As agents approached the driver, Adrian fled on foot, abandoning his child. For the child's safety, one of our ICE officers remained with the child while the other officers apprehended Conyejo Arias. Our officers made multiple attempts to get the mother inside the house to take custody of her child. Officers even assured her that they would not take her into custody. I understand why she didn't believe them, but that's your kid. Sorry. I think most parents would agree that they would die for their child. So if somebody that you think is so evil is outside and has your
JP says no GS. The woman was talking about some publishing company, and I was just fucking crap.
kid, yeah, you're gonna try to get your kid back.
Fair
You're
enough.
not gonna be like, no speak English, and I thought I am a citizen.
I can't freaking deal with this. This chick is like, I don't know. I'm sorry, Miss Leonardo Joni. I can't. Nope. Sorry, lady. I'm done. Let's see what Tim pulls up to. Said there was something live going on. Oh, this is Don Lemon.
Care if he lets all the illegals go. I don't care if he burns down the economy. I don't care if he goes to war with Iran. Just please arrest Don Lemon. It's the only reason I voted for Trump. So I'm satisfied. I'm done. It was good hanging out with you guys. I'll see you later.
Show's over.
Show's over. We're still waiting for Andrew Branca, the law of self-defense specialist, who's going to come and talk to us about it. But we're going to be talking about what's going on in Minnesota. It's a civil war.
Everybody's audio is
I
horrible.
mean, not literally in the sense where I can actually say we know definitively. We talked about this last night. But you got Hakeem Jeffries going on TV, I guess the other day, saying that Kristi Noem should be murdered. He literally said it. He said, not literally, he said, Kristi Noem should be put on ice permanently, which, look it up in any dictionary, it means to murder. It's a slang term for killing somebody. And, you've got Molly Ringwald saying there should be mass executions of Trump supporters. You've got Kathy Griffin saying start tracking who in your community is MAGA and start planning. And we know what all this means. We know all this means and where it's going. Kathy Griffin brings up that there is this network in Minnesota of people who help each other out. Yeah, they're state-sponsored. They have access to state-level infrastructure. So we're playing this game, I guess, where the liberals are screaming, Don Lemon got arrested. Oh, no, our rights are being violated. He was indicted by a grand jury. But none of that really matters. We are well past the point where any legitimate argument is going to be made by either side for who is truly morally correct. All that matters is one side sees an enemy combatant taken down in whatever way possible. Now, to be fair, it's not people on the right largely calling for the murder of people on the left, though Trump did say that the seditionists in Congress who called for troops to defy unlawful orders, he said that they should, seditious conspiracy, and then he said punishable by death. So let's just say that things are getting quite a bit spicy. But,
I love this card, by the way.
Today to talk
I
about
love that little
Andrew
goblin
Branco will be here
guy.
in just a minute.
So awesome.
I think actually he might have just pulled up, and he can talk to us about these shooting incidents with CBP and ICE in Minnesota and whether or not self-defense qualifies based on the law. But we got a couple people here with real experience on the ground
mana.
who know full well about what's going on with these
Oh, mana.
insurgency groups. So I'll start over here. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Can't make me political.
Damn, Mr. Landrop.
Defend Hakeem Jeffries real quick. There's a lot of ways you could interpret put her on ice permanently. The way I interpreted it was he wants her to run DHS forever.
Oof.
Yeah,
Nice.
he says she should be in charge of ICE forever. She's done such a great job.
Put her on
Yeah.
ice forever. Yeah.
Yeah, he should have just added she should sleep with the fishes. Yeah.
And Jorge Ventura, reporter, Daily Caller News Foundation. And yeah, been on the ground in Minneapolis. Just was actually at the press conference yesterday with Border Czar Tom Homan now at leadership. So it's interesting to see that switch up and his different messaging. Tim did bring you some protest souvenir from Minneapolis. A good old classic Legal Observer, Don't Shoot 101 special edition. So
See,
from Minneapolis.
This is propaganda.
How did you get that, Jorge?
This right here.
So it's a 101.
This is legit propaganda intended to create images.
You like that, okay?
I'm wondering how you got it.
They want people. This is for real.
This is This is from the and then I want to give it to you.
The reason why they put
Protest
"Don't
souvenir.
shoot" on it is because they want someone who doesn't know anything about politics to believe that they are the victims. That's the point. But Andrew has showed up. You made it.
Hey.
Who are you? You want to grab the mic, pull it in close?
Hey guys, I'm attorney Andrew Branca from the Branca Show, and I don't know if this is my 4th or 5th time here with Tim, but
You got to get close, otherwise I
gotta
can't
get
hear
close.
you. Yeah.
All right. And my expertise is use of force law, defending yourself, your family, your property by either civilians or police.
Right on. Well, we should get into the nitty-gritty of what went down in Minnesota and where we're currently
Let's see what
at.
happens here.
But we'll start with the broadest and the boldest of
Lay
what's
down, bud.
going on. As I mentioned, Hakeem Jeffries says put Christine on ice permanently, which is a slang term for murder. Afterwards,
Such
he
a
went,
good
"No,
card."
then fire her. Yeah, okay, dude. Like, I'm not playing this game anymore. Because we've not tolerated this kind of language on any of my shows.
Rub
in the
with the
past,
hexing
where
sculpture.
people would
That's
use
pretty awesome.
innuendo to insinuate violence. We don't do that. And all that matters is, it's the question, are there crazy enough people who will hear Hakeem Jeffries say
Hey,
that and
panel burst.
interpret it as he said it, to kill her? The answer is yes. We've already seen, I mean, look, we have the assassination of Charlie Kirk, the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, several, actually. And we've seen death threats across the board. I got shot at not personally, but my property got shot at. So I suppose the first question, and I want to go through this first question just relatively quickly based on what we're seeing in
Panelverse says, sorry, GS. America has shown me why I can't stand with USA anymore, which is a shame. When America called on nations to go to war with them, my people showed up, and my people also got axed by your A-10, the Warthogs. We were there for you, and at every move America has shown to be at war with my nation. That's kind of a weird statement. Sure. All right. Let's see.
Minnesota before we get into the specifics of what happened with the shooting. But what would you describe where we're at? People are asking the question, is it civil war? Will there be a civil war? Right now it appears that we have state-sponsored paramilitaries operating in Minnesota. We can try and be as reserved as possible and say no.
I don't know what I have to do with my nation's policies. Your nation is led by the cuck of the North, Justin Trudeau, who sucks other men's beans.
No, we don't want to say anything extreme. We are in a period where state-sponsored
If it is war you seek, it is war ye shall have, sir.
insurgent paramilitary
Or whatever that means.
are attacking law enforcement, and that's it. But how do you guys feel about what's going on? How would you describe it?
It's an insurrection for sure, and people are really antsy about me using that term. They say it's not an insurrection, and I say just ask the people on the ground themselves, the actual insurrectionists. They literally fly the rebel flag from Star Wars. They call themselves the Resistance. Spoiler alert, rebellion, resistance, insurrection, they're all synonyms. They mean the same thing. They openly call themselves an insurrection. It's exactly what they are. They're resisting the government, the federal government, and there is a systematic coordination to impede federal law enforcement actions and operations. And they're doing it every day. It's how Renee Good got killed. It's how Alex Preddy got killed. They were all there in coordination with other people who are actively carrying out an insurrection.
From just my perspective, from being in Minneapolis and covering the Black Lives Matter riots back in 2020, I feel like we're seeing once again just like that real life where Americans are getting psyoped in real time. Through mainstream media, the language is a huge factor in this, labeling ICE as Gestapo, as Nazi, and me being on the ground and being Latino, I'm able to kind of have these conversations and kind of blend in a little bit easier. So just speaking to the locals on the ground, and this is just the reality of it is 90% of white liberals, they feel like this is their white savior moment. And they feel like when I'm conversating with them, they feel like they're standing up for their Somali brother and sister, and they have the privilege because they're white. And it's just like an interesting dynamic what's going on, because when you interview Somalian immigrants, they just have no connection with that fight, the way that white liberals, for some reason, are being psyoped into feeling like they have to rise up to this moment. And for them, they do feel like it's a civil war, and this is that moment. And actually, with Bovino, I mean, I don't know what you got, Cam, as your feedback on the ground, but I feel like when Bovino got let go, and they moved into Holman, the protesters there, the agitators, they feel like that was a win for them. And I feel like right now their morale got lifted.
Well, what do you think? Where are we at?
100%. I mean, these are a regular paramilitary, insurgency, I would say. Right now, only one side's really fighting. It's their side is the only one fighting. It's not quite a hot insurgency. They're engaged in stochastic terrorism, so they put violent language out into their brainwashed, I think often mentally ill community. And of course, it's stochastic because you don't know exactly who's going to do what in terms of violence, but you know the violence is going to happen. It's just a randomized flow with a known endpoint. It's like if you throw a rock off a building. You don't know exactly the spot on the ground it's going to hit, but you know it's going to hit the ground.
I think it's, in active insurgency. We have a single state in rebellion, I would argue. You've got members of the state government who are providing access to resources and helping coordinate the activity. So it's not just a rebel group, or I don't even know how you describe it. It's active insurgency, and it's state-sponsored.
More than one state, too.
What other states do we know of that are actively involved?
Well, we have the same kind of stuff happening up in Portland, Seattle, right. California. It's just not as hot as Minnesota right now.
So I would say Minneapolis is at a whole nother level with the organization. Yeah, I mean, I know Cam also has a lot of experience in all these cities. I thought Portland was like the worst of the worst, and I feel like Minneapolis is at a whole nother level because their locals, just everyday people, are in the fight, where in Portland it's more just the far left and the fringes, where here in Portland it's like the general. I mean, literally as we're speaking right now, there's going to be tens of thousands doing a general strike.
Yeah, but I agree with that, but I think the reason why we're seeing it in Minnesota this way is because Trump fought in Minnesota. Because he sent 3,000 feds in, and they started doing these operations. I'd argue that the left is probably as organized, maybe slightly more, maybe slightly less in other states. We just don't see it because Trump isn't deploying thousands of troops, thousands of feds to go and engage in these actions. So because of that enforcement action by Trump and largely Bovino, it forced the insurgency to become active, and it forced them to become very visible to everybody else. Whereas with Portland, it's contained largely because the feds aren't doing anything. And the same thing for Washington and California. I'd be willing to bet these same networks have been operating throughout dozens of states already, even red states.
I think they all have the same training, the same tools, the same resources. It's just a matter of whether they've hit the switch to take it to that other level.
That's right.
I agree. Minneapolis is at another level, but I think they can do that in any of these cities if they wanted to.
Right.
They're just focusing their efforts.
I would argue that you said it wasn't hot. The issue is the level of warfare that we're experiencing in the modern age. Right, this is a really good example, right? This vest, peaceful observer, don't shoot. They'll put this on, punch a cop in the face, then put their hands up. Their filmers will turn the camera on only after they punch the cop in the face. Then when the cop throws the peaceful observer to the ground, they'll say, "Look, he's wearing a shirt that says peaceful observer. Why was he attacked?"
That's what they call
shit.
in the signal chat.
Oh, I
so they
blew
call
it.
themselves, like the people who do the patrols, the foot patrols.
Oh, I blew it, chat.
They're called
Oh,
observers.
I could have won that game.
Legal
observers.
That's a fake thing. It's not a real thing.
But their
Damn
intent and express purpose is going and just getting in the way of agents, whether it's blocking them with their cars like Renee Good, or standing in front of their vehicles with their bodies.
Oh, I
or
could have gotten
whatever
rid
it
of
might
that.
Be. Like their stated purpose is to go and impede and stop them.
Right. And every act like that is a federal crime. That's a Class A misdemeanor. That's good for a year in a federal penitentiary.
I do want to add, I was at the last Bovino press conference.
that's game.
And, even in that press,
Yeah, I
with
screwed
Bovino,
up. Oh, I
there's
had
that
the game.
moment of truth where he
Son of a
goes,
bitch.
We haven't faced this level of organization from activists in any other city but Minneapolis. I
Wow.
mean, they just, and going
Activists?
into Minneapolis, they just kind of
Oh,
finished
I
that
had
operation
it.
in New Orleans.
Damn
where,
it.
I mean, it almost feels like they didn't face any type of uprising there. But
Gotta pay
even
attention.
Bovino said that Minneapolis was a new challenge for federal agents and Border Patrol.
And he called them
Especially
he called them activists.
he calls them activists, agitators, also, especially because like the police chief in Minneapolis, several, I mean, they're all standing down. So one thing Bovino even added in his last press conference, he says, "Hey, our agents, we're conducting these operations, and then when these agitators do impede the operations, we do call 911, and we're getting like no
they're in on
response from local law enforcement."
We learned from the signal chats that you released that there's law enforcement in these groups. How are they getting access to license plate databases?
Right.
I think that's an interesting one because I think that a lot of their license plate data is based on observation from them. So they create the database on Airtable.
Let me pause real quick. How do they know what car the people are renting? They've got access to this.
Yeah, no, I'm not contesting that. I definitely think that it's possible that they have access to this, but I know that a lot of their database data is based on, like, I saw an agent in the front seat of this car with this license plate, etc. But it is extremely coordinated, and you're right, they do have the same network in other states. Like, I know there's a signal network in Seattle. Even in Texas, there's signal networks. They're all over the place, and they're coordinating.
I guess the question is, does Trump have the chutzpah to actually stop these groups? Does Kash Patel? I'm going to go ahead and posit the answer is no, because these things have been operating for years, and we've not seen any real action. Hey, congratulations, Don Lemon got arrested for a misdemeanor charge for, going into a church in violation of the FACE Act. And it's great that they finally got him. He got indicted by a grand jury, but what are we going to do about the fact that there is an active insurgency? I mean, this is sedition. It's seditious conspiracy.
Yeah, I can't believe I did that. Oh, I can't believe I did that.
The Capitol
I really
Police
messed that up.
rampaged through the
I gotta
country,
slow down.
locking up J6ers, many of them getting
Like the
solitary
card.
confinement for years.
Like that.
And we've got these known networks. They've been operating for years and nothing.
Yep. We have actual like evidence of real coordination going on here. I mean, I could literally join a dispatch call right now, and they're hunting ICE agents in Minnesota.
Wait, pull it up.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, put it on the. Let's listen to them.
Yeah, let's do it.
By the way, I think
Live,
Don Lemon
listening to these people. Do you think they'll shut it down once they realize they're live streaming? We're live streaming what they're saying.
Probably.
Let's go.
We could actually join if you really want to get frisky with it. We could be like, "Hey, welcome to the Tim Pool podcast." I just got to pull it up.
Well,
real
let's
quick.
just listen.
That would be funny.
Let's listen to what they're saying. Let's not say anything.
They delete them every day, so I got to rejoin.
Yup. Yeah, it's very disruptive that this stuff's getting published too, because it compromises their networks.
All right, call should be active. Oh, well, wait, hold up. Just give me a second. Come back to me.
So did Don Lemon get charged under the KKK Act?
No,
too?
no, just FACE Act.
Just FACE, okay.
Which, of course, as everybody knows, only included religious facilities as I'm going to avoid swearing, as an FU to conservatives.
Right.
Basically saying this law is specifically to protect abortion clinics. Nobody was bombing churches or blocking churches, and they put it in there as this will shut you up.
Right.
Now it's partisan. Well, the funny thing is it's blowing back in their faces, I guess. So, while he's pulling that up, let's get into the nitty gritty. Obviously, it doesn't really matter, to be honest. And I hate to say this to you, because your expertise is literally on self-defense and justification of use of force and all that stuff. But we're well past that. We're well past that. An ICE agent could be standing in the middle of the street, and he could shoot a leftist straight in the chest, and there will be people on the right. Not everybody. The right's a bit more rational, but they're going to be like, well,
Karma's
you know,
back.
he had to have had a reason. But a better example, I suppose, would be the left's violence. A leftist could literally draw a gun and open fire on ICE, and when they shoot back, the left will argue that the guy was acting in self-defense first. They'll make up a reason.
Sure, of course. It's almost, you know, it's like arguing with a woman. They always have a rationale for whatever it is they want to do.
Well, it's largely a female-driven political movement.
It is a matriarchal organization fundamentally. The entire left is.
But it's zealotry. They don't need a reason. They need a justification for recruitment. And so they will lie about everything. So what do we know about Pred?
But now they have their justification because now Alex is their martyr. You know, like
Yeah,
I was
but-
just at the vigil, and the energy there is like he is our hero, and because of him, we're gonna do like whatever it takes, keep impeding operations. Even like yesterday, today, I'm still getting reports of folks are still impeding operations. You know, Trump's gonna have to send in like
It's a
some type of
felony.
security team, but they now have their martyr, and I just think they're gonna double down. And once again, morale has been lifted in Minneapolis.
Did you get it?
I'm working on it.
All right, libertarians, hear me. You know, the libertarians are really showing their true colors, yellow, because you guys set yourself up for that one, because there's no exercise of authority.
The tech is on their way. All right, awesome, Karma. Good luck to you.
That they allow ever. So let's break this down.
Guys, do me a favor, hit the like button if you haven't already. You know, maybe yap some more. Like, share, subscribe, you know, that kind of thing. Hope you appreciate hanging out, having something to do, I guess. But I'm just chilling. I did shovel some of my driveway. It is socked in like ice. About a good 2.5, 3 feet of ice. Or no, about 2.5 feet of ice in some spot. Well, almost 4 feet in some other spots. Shadow, go lay down. Go get your toy and go lay down. And because of the plow. What in the hell is this? No, I don't really. I guess I had to read this card. And hold it. Okay. Anyway, it's pretty nasty. And you can't be out there for too long, buddy. Your little paws freeze up on the snow. Go get your toy. Get your ball. Go get it.
A guy coordinates illegally to commit felony obstruction. So we have 2 crimes already on Preddy's plate: conspiracy against federal law enforcement, which is a felony, and obstruction of federal law enforcement, which is a felony, of which he committed these previously. Then you have criminal damage to federal property when he attacked the vehicle. You have felony assault on an officer when he spit, and I tracked it. You can see the spit go into the car. Don't know, it probably got on the door. I don't know if it got on the actual ICE or CBP guy. So you've got felony assault on an officer, criminal damage to federal property, felony obstruction, and conspiracy to obstruct. Those are all crimes, 4 felonies. You do not have... No. I'm going to ask you, do you have a legal right to bring a firearm with you for a crime you have conspired to commit?
Well, you can't carry a gun for unlawful purposes. That's not what the Second Amendment is for, right? I mean, I carry a gun every day. If you see me at a protest, I'm probably carrying a gun. But what I'm not doing is fighting police while I'm carrying a gun. No one was bothering Alex Preddy when he was carrying his gun, when he had a spare mag. No one cared until he was fighting police. And
Behold a goblin, exile it. Okay, so he could just keep doing the weird over and over again. Oh, that's kind of brilliant. Interesting. Oh wow, that's pretty disgusting actually. What are you doing, buddy? Go lay down. Why are you backing up from me? Go lay down. What the actual fuck, dude? This is just... What the fuck is going on here? What the fuck even is this, dude? This dude's got like endless... What the hell? That's pretty cool.
that's when it becomes a problem.
So these libertarians are lying, arguing he was peacefully protesting. I don't know if this is also within your area of expertise, but I think it's common sense. If you conspire to commit a felony, you are not protesting under the First Amendment.
Well, conspiracy is kind of weird because
Be
it's
nice
always
if I could get a
conspiracy to
board
commit
clear.
some other crime, right? So, so that is in and of itself an independent. But the conspiracy is, I guess I don't understand the overlap with First Amendment. So the First Amendment, you're at some place, right? You're holding a sign, you're shouting, that would be legitimate. Or you're obstructing, you're impeding, you're interfering. Now you're committing felony crimes. Those are different things.
Right.
The left likes to conflate all this stuff,
Right,
right?
but the libertarians are doing it too.
Yeah.
They're arguing Preddy
Huh.
was just protesting, and he's protected, and therefore the federal government murdered an innocent guy. This is the thing about libertarians. I'm gonna give a shout out
51 degrees would be nice.
to libertarians. I have no problem criticizing you, but what I love about them is they fold like cheap suits the moment any real conflict arises. So that makes it easy. You have quite literally a circumstance where murderers, rapists, and criminals have been let into our country, and Trump wants to get rid of them. Illegal immigrants are here criminally and also need to be deported. So this operation is under codified law, long-standing, 50-plus years or longer. The INA going back 100 years. So these are lawful operations from law enforcement that were appointed by a duly elected government. Nothing about it is fascistic. Everybody had a chance to have their voice heard, and the people of this community said, hey guys, we want to enforce the law this way. And then you have insurgent leftists who have expressed desire to murder, who have beaten people, who have attacked people, coordinating for in an effort to obstruct federal law enforcement, which is a felony. In some circumstances, like Preddy, to assault officers, which is a felony. In what reality are libertarians like, no, you are not allowed to enforce the law?
I don't really like the whole yeah, I don't know.
Law against someone conspiring to commit felonies and assault officers. It's psychotic.
Well, we have to understand libertarianism is kind of it's a luxury belief.
Yeah.
Right? That can only exist in a well-ordered, well-structured first world society. It's like you can only have a nice car if you live in a nice neighborhood.
Dude, what is with this like 1 and 2 mana hands and then this shit? There's only 4 of these in my entire deck. Why am I getting all these duplicates of shit? Oh, this is so frickin' insufferable. Oh, it's annoying. Oy vey.
Right? But if you move to a bad neighborhood, you have that nice car, you know what's going to happen to it.
It'll be on
Same with
blocks in 2 minutes.
libertarianism. It doesn't function in the real world. It doesn't function in a world where there's conflict and violence and threats, where you need order to be asserted, because libertarians are essentially against the assertion of order.
I have this bit that I want to film with the boys. We're talking about. It's a small community. A bunch of houses get broken into. And then this libertarian guy defends himself in his home, but the burglar gets away. So the community comes together and says, well, maybe we need to appoint someone from our community to actually go around and just patrol the neighborhood to make sure these burglars don't come back. And, you might need a gun because these guys are violent. And the libertarian's like, yeah, I'll do it. And then they're like, all right. And they'll say, okay, it's going to be you. You patrol every night to make sure the burglar doesn't come back. And then as soon as he does, they're all screaming fascist, murderer, you're evil. They're throwing eggs at him. And it's like, the libertarians are super angry because I said, I am the boot. They got mad, and they're doing something that's retarded, okay? They're making these flags where it
JP says no clouds. The temperature is going to start dropping tonight and going to be in the 20s. Something like. Yeah, we're going to get hit really cold.
There was a snake with a MAGA hat on and a ball gag saying, tread on me, daddy. But that doesn't quite make sense because MAGA isn't out on the street getting attacked by ICE. So MAGA's, at bare minimum, if you want to make the flag a guy sitting on his couch watching football while ICE goes out and stomps on other people, you could do that, but MAGA's not being tread upon. So they have this nonsensical argument. So my point is, I voted for ICE and CBP to go and do exactly what it is they're doing. A bit of it's heavy-handed. I can be critical of that. That's fine. But these people are working at my behest. I'm not being trampled on. No ICE agent has come to me and taken my guns from me or kicked my door in. I am not being infringed in any way. In fact, the only people who seem to have a problem right now are leftist extremists who lost an election and criminal illegal aliens. Those are the people being tread on. So how about this, libertarians? You make a flag where it's a bunch of fat MAGA dudes sitting there with their bellies hanging out, yelling, keep treading, and it's ICE stomping on leftists' Antifa. That's the flag you should make, and then you can question whether or not which side you're on or whatever.
I don't think Trump's been nearly heavy-handed enough.
No, I agree.
No, I mean, he's had more than sufficient grounds to invoke the Insurrection Act for months.
But he's Buchanan. I think Donald Trump is proving himself to be a Buchanan and not a Lincoln. Lincoln put the boot down right when he got in office. There was no waiting. He was arresting politicians.
He suspended habeas corpus without the permission of Congress,
Yep.
which is supposed to be he got permission after the fact.
2 years later.
Right.
So he just did it.
Do you think, though, Tim, that Trump doesn't want to invoke the Insurrection Act because he's worried that if he does, the optics start to really look bad for 2020 for J.D.
Sure,
Vance? I
just
feel
like
I feel
Buchanan.
like he's so worried about leaving J.D. Vance in a good standing that he's...
All right,
that's
Carmen,
why the whole
best of luck
minute
to you.
is changing the optics. Yeah.
No, I agree. Just like Buchanan. Placate the other side, try and tone the temperature down, and be nice to the people who are losing their effing minds.
Yeah.
And so Trump is playing footsie. I said he either needs to stand down or suit up, because this half measure they're pulling off in Minnesota it's generating the agitprop that the left needs.
Yeah.
Wearing these stupid fake things, I'm a peaceful observer, then they lob a brick at your face, and then when you actually... So what did we see? We saw this exact scenario play out at the Home 2 Suites, where a leftist journalist chucked a brick at a Fed's face from the Bureau...
Mr. Mimsy says, hope it goes well, Karma, and with the updated speed, you should never be late again. How dare you? Shots fired.
of Prisons, presumably breaking his nose. He's covered in blood. So he pulls out his less lethal, and he walks out and points it, and the only video they show is the agent pointing a weapon at journalists.
Right.
Trump half measures are giving them all the recruiting tools they need so they can bring more retards into the fray. So I said, stand down, do nothing, let Minnesota burn. You got to stand down or suit up. And suit up means Insurrection Act, shut it down, no more bricks, no more protests, nothing happens. My proposal is this. Actually, the smartest thing Trump can do, visit Minneapolis. That's it. Trump should announce, I am deeply saddened by the conflict that we're seeing in the streets of Minneapolis. The American people don't want this. The American people want peace. They want order. They want a good economy. They want stability. I am going to personally go to Minneapolis to meet with the mayor and the governor to find a solution so that we can find real accountability and stop the violence. What happens when he does that? Secret Service, National Guard, federal police come in and they shut the city down. Checkpoints are everywhere, and he doesn't need to assert anything. He doesn't need to say, I'm going to crush you, leftists. He doesn't need to call in the National Guard or invoke the Insurrection Act. It will just naturally play out. This will stop all protests and riots. Just by him being there, it will take away any opportunity for agitprop, because Trump is not crushing the protests. He's not shutting them down. He's literally just visiting to bring peace. That's the play. He won't do it. He's miserable at it. Bovino and Noam saying that Preddy was going to massacre law enforcement and Miller was miserably bad PR.
I agree.
They screwed the whole thing up, and they're continuing to screw it up. And you know what? I will give them this. Who am I? What the F do I know? I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I'm just some dude on the internet complaining. Maybe I'm wrong about everything. But it does, I can say this, they are losing it. Maybe I'm wrong about what they should do, but they are losing.
I think we got a call.
Let's get it.
Yeah.
All right, 1 second. Please have a call going. See, the problem is some the other ones I'm in don't have calls going because I scared the crap out of them yesterday by posting their links on Twitter. So they're like,
yeah, after this game.
But what we could do is just call them as well.
Do they know your number? But then you got to talk to them or what?
Yeah, if they join. We'll see.
I think you're better off trying to join someone else's call so we can hear what they naturally are doing. And if you can't, we don't want to.
That's the problem.
Don't want to spook them, you know.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is they're
that?
like I said, they're so scared because
make sure you got the right lands.
I've evolved from posting screenshots.
That's
to
usually what I
posting
forget to do.
their
I
links
usually forget to put
so that
good
they
dual
get
lands
invaded
or
with
tri
people
lands or
spamming
whatever.
Trump gifs in their
Dude,
chat.
go get your toy. Get your toy.
And one
Get
thing
your
on the
toy.
Insurrection
And I'll
Act
throw
that
it to you.
we think it
Go get your
sounds
toy and I'll
extreme,
throw
and
it
it
to
would be portrayed as extreme if he were to invoke it, because they haven't properly laid the groundwork for the public to be accepting of its
God.
invocation. But the only thing weird about the invocation, the Insurrection Act in 2026, is we're in the longest period of American history right now where it has not been invoked. It's been invoked dozens of times by dozens of presidents over America's history. It's unusual that we've gone since 1992 without invoking it. It's almost overdue.
But if there was a time,
Just do it just because.
But if there was a time that the President Trump was going to invoke the Insurrection Act, it should have been during the Black Lives Matter riots, because that was absolute chaos in several cities for months on months in, and the president never stepped in. He never stepped in Portland or any of those kind of major cities where we saw that violence. In Seattle, it took someone dying for like the local law enforcement to come in and like, break down Chaz. But if there was going to be any time, it should have been in 2020. I just think that right now, Trump is worried about political numbers. He knows Kristi Noem.
Why would Trump be worried about political numbers, dude? You're not getting fucking reelected again, dumbass.
Messaging just has been all over the place with Stephen Miller, and I just think the optics of him doing it, I just think he's thinking too much about.
If anyone thinks that Trump really genuinely gives a shit about the Republican Party or the optics of it, he doesn't care. He's not doing it because freaking Ziobots have him under control to not do what they don't want him to do.
2028, but just from being on the ground, it just seems like he should have done it in 2020, and I just don't see any scenario where President Trump's going to do it now.
He was a different president too, though, right?
That's
I mean, that first term President Trump and this term President Trump,
I would say
feel to me like two different guys.
If anything, with this White House, he probably has more backing with Stephen Miller and J.D. Vance to invoke it, and I still don't think he'll do it.
I'll throw it back to Lincoln Buchanan again. And the diehard Trump people, he can never do anything wrong, and it's just so cringe because if you believe that Trump is invincible and never fails, you're going to lose. You're just going to lose.
Yeah.
If you can't recognize where you're getting crushed. And as you mentioned, the left is celebrating what's going on in Minnesota. Tom Homan even said, I'm not here because things have been going well. He's outright saying, they sent me in to try and clean this up, and he's trying to turn the temperature down.
I do think there's kind of a play here, though. J.D. Vance said it in his speech when he visited Minnesota, that the reason there are so many federal agents in Minnesota is because the regular operating teams who are going out and detaining illegal immigrants can't operate because they're being impeded every time they leave. That's what these signal chats are for. They find the agents. They have dozens of people in each sector at any given time, each part of the city, that are just hunting these agents down. Now MPD and state police are actually doing their job. So when you're talking about drawing forces out of Minnesota, I think this might be a play by the administration to make them feel like they're getting a win, when in reality, it's going to be easier for them to carry out operations. But I agree. At the very least, Trump should have used 10 U.S.C. 12407 and deployed the National Guard. I support the Insurrection Act, but
yes,
like at the very least, 10 U.S. Code 12406, deploy the National
Midterms, or we can trash Aaron Queen to fight. Never challenge a kung fu master. Humble, are you driving today?
Immediately. This is what you're describing is what Trump did in 2020 with the George Floyd riots. Let the cities burn, and then what happens is the people who are concerned about the violence are saying Trump can't do anything. So why support him? Your Republican politicians aren't going to help you. Trump's not going to put down the riots, so why vote for Trump? And a lot of people probably thought, well, this is happening under Trump. Why would I continue to vote for this? I want change. And we're not going to sit here and pretend the average normie voter knows exactly what's going on. The typical swing at the macro level is just
snow in Ohio.
If it's bad, I want the other party.
Yeah.
They're not sitting there going, well, will Joe Biden actually do it or is Trump? They're just thinking, well, the Republicans aren't doing it. Maybe the Democrats will.
But even if they won't vote for the other party, they just won't show up. And that's the problem. You win elections when your team shows up. If your team is just disheartened, they're not even seeing incremental wins, they're not seeing a future that looks more positive, they just stay home.
Yeah, I think Trump is too focused on the 2020 election stuff. You know, I like it. I like what he's doing with Fulton County and all that. But the play they're making right now, I think, has the right's fairly split. Libertarians are largely anti-Trump on this one, and they're siding with liberals. Then you've got the disaffected liberal types, people like in my camp, that are just saying Trump's too weak and he's not doing anything. And then you've got the diehard Trump can do no wrong people that are just saying Trump's right about everything no matter what. I'm like, okay,
guys. Right now, Tim, you got the normies taking in just all the negative headlines from Minneapolis. I mean, I would say right now, politically, it's a disaster for Republicans heading into these midterms.
Because they only just do half measures. Because they don't. You know, I'll play it like this, because I've talked about this before. The right and conservatives don't have the capacity to win against evil.
Oh, interesting.
Because let me rephrase this. It is substantially more difficult to defeat evil using good.
This is the best 2 out of 3, baby. So it's
and the right, and to their credit, This is not meant to be disrespectful, is unwilling to use tactics that win wars in the way that the Democrats, the Uniparty, and the liberal economic order have historically done. That is, the right won't ever put on "don't shoot, peaceful observer" with the and walk around wearing these things, creating the implication that ICE is murdering random people. The intention is to create a narrative in the minds of people who don't know what's going on. So when they see a group of people with their hands up wearing these vests, and they go, "What's that all about?" A leftist will say, "Didn't you know Trump's killing peaceful protesters?" That's why they have to wear the "don't shoot."
And this is always going to be on the front page of New York Times. You know, this hands up, don't shoot.
You're right. The example I always give, May 29th, 2020. Thousands of leftists tear the barricades down at the White House, injure 100+ federal agents, firebomb the White House grounds in St. John's Church, and Trump played it straight. Barr and Trump send the police in, shut the riot down. The narrative that emerged, Trump brutalizes peaceful protesters after being terrified and hiding in his bunker. What would have happened, honest question, what would have happened if Trump said stand down?
Should be enough.
They would have burned down the White House. Actually, Tim, I was there that night, and they had to put Trump under a bunker.
They did?
Under the White House.
They would have burned the White House down?
Yep.
What then would the narrative be the next day?
Leftists burn the White House.
Republicans are weak.
Weak
The leftists
All right, we
burned
pulled that
by
one
all
off.
means. And you know what Trump then says? You're right. I'm sorry. I was weak. These
pulled that
leftist
one
terrorists
off.
are much stronger than any of us realized. I was reading the New York Times, and don't get me wrong, I don't think Trump has the wherewithal for a narrative like this. But what I would do is I'd come out and say, I apologize to the American people. I read the New York Times every day.
I got
read
the
the
victory,
Washington
so
Post,
now
and
I
I
can-
watched MSNBC as they told me that this was mostly peaceful. And so when these people showed up at the White House
trying it
out
out?
of a
Okay.
concern for a potential injury or great bodily harm to peaceful protesters, I instructed our law enforcement to stand down.
So based on the number of 80s martial art B movies I watched, I'm probably actually a ninja by now. Fair enough. So I'm going to be playing Morning Mist here in a second. That's cool. So you guys, she said, don't laugh when he whoops me. I don't know. I have no idea if my deck's going to be any good or not. Well, heck, I can play test it too. Let's see. Play test, beloved challenge. Let's see how horrible it's going to be. Let's see how horrible it's going to be. Morning Mist, are you just lulling him into a false sense of security and then boom?
No.
In your face, she is. Oh, probably.
No.
She says no. I don't know if you can hear her. Lying is a sin.
Well, I'm not.
She's really good at this game. Don't believe her. So I got the hiccups. Alright, let's go Brandon. Do this. Alright, good stuff. The next turn we'll cast that, drop this in tap. And then the next turn we'll drop the Ouroboros. Ouroboid. That card is just disgusting. Oh, play fall there. Oh, I'm tired.
And I was wrong. The threat of leftist terrorism exceeded what even the New York Times or I could have fathomed. And for this, we have lost St. John's Church and the White House. But mark my words, I will not be weak ever again. We are forming a task force with the Capitol Police to hunt down these terrorists and bring them to justice. Congress would have no choice but to unanimously fund the operations where Trump wipes out all of the far left.
Tim wants the remaining Jedi will
Sounds
be
like a good
hunted
movie.
down.
The attempt on Trump comes out with his face burned from the fire, saying the attempt on my life has left me scarred and disfigured.
He'll be dressed like Bruce Willis in Die Hard.
I'm not giving you an opinion on what could have been. You're saying, Tim, but how do you know any of that would happen? Because what I'm saying, I am literally describing to you January 6th. Trump asked for the National Guard, the Democrats went no. Nancy Pelosi said no. And their Capitol Police on video standing outside, standing down. There are Metro PD giving guided tours to people, helping them get in the building, opening doors even, and one man saying, I don't agree with it, but I respect it, taking selfies with people. So as far as these J6ers knew, not the rioters, by all means, the ones who fought cops, we know they go to jail. You fight cops, you go to jail. That's wrong. On this side of the building, when the cops were holding the doors open, taking pictures, and when the shaman got a guided
that's not
escort
very nice.
into the Senate chambers, how did these people think they were doing anything wrong? When they walked in an open door, stayed between the velvet ropes, and the police said, right this way, sir. And what did they do? They formed a task force. They formed a committee. They put people in prison. They hunted them down for years. They gave some people 20 years in prison for this. Trump and the Republicans play everything honestly. There's violent rioters. Let's arrest them. The left says, no, do nothing. Let the rioters have their way. That way we can go and blame Trump for it and arrest him.
I mean, but January 6th is a real issue, right? Because we say the right's not willing to do this kind of stuff, like with the vest, like the left does. And it's definitely a problem. You know, victory goes to the side that's determined to win over the side that just wants to be left alone, right? And that is a difference between the left and right. But when the right does things that look anything like that, or could even be misrepresented as that kind of wear the vest thing, they get treated like the January 6th protesters get treated.
And that's only because the right is unwilling to do what the left does. Trump is not going around and locking up these known insurgent cells. Why not? He's the president. He could even just go on TV right now. He could issue a press conference saying, he could put poster board behind him showing the insurgent groups, showing all of this, and he can say, we have uncovered a network of domestic terrorist extremists who are planning violent assaults against our law enforcement, and he can show poster boards, take them down, and say, the DOJ will not tolerate this, and the FBI will begin making moves. He could do that right now. The left does this.
He can make arrests, but he can't keep them
you
locked
should just
up.
be our
No,
FBI
but he
director, man.
he could be winning the PR game, and he's not.
Right, Tim?
Yeah.
I think Cam should be our FBI director since he's beating Patel to these signals.
The British Secret 009. Morning, Mist. Are you just okay? Yeah, already read that. I've been watching Kung Fu B movies since the 70s. Everything's a competition these days. Everything.
Harmeet got Don Lemon arrested. I'll give her that. But Don Lemon's a small fry. He committed a crime that's a slap on the wrist. A max. You get more. You get there is a bigger penalty for trying to have a suspended license than what Don Lemon did.
I won't start another game until.
You're right when you say that if the right acts out of line in any way, they'll get crushed. Yes, by the left. The left is willing to be evil to an extreme degree. The right is not willing to do this. And again, I'm not ragging on the right for being good. I'm saying when you are beset on all sides by demons who don't believe in the rules, and you're sitting there saying, well, no matter what, I'll fight by the rules, then you know what the way to describe it is? Let us all cherish the noble rabbit. A vegan, he harms no one. He does not violate the non-aggression principle. He minds his own business. And he gets carried away in the jaws of the wolf who doesn't care about the rights of the rabbit. So we can sit here and just be like, well, at least we're honorable. That's great. We'll write about the honor you had in the history books after your culture is wiped out. You'll be a footnote on page 73.
Pin drop.
Let's talk about Preddy and Renee Good, though. And, of course, Kathy Griffin, she made a video today where she said, 2 innocent people murdered. Let's start with Renee Good from the perspective of self-defense. First, the question is, was she innocent?
Was she innocent of what? Of trying to kill the officer?
Well, obviously...
Because it doesn't really matter.
No, that's not what I'm asking.
She was clearly engaged in the same kind of interference, obstruction that
we can
Preddy
remove the
was
political
engaged in.
from it because we know that innocent to Kathy Griffin means literally nothing. But I'm going to say, was she or was she not in the process of committing a crime?
It seems likely to me, but it doesn't matter in terms of the justification of
But I'm
her
not asking
shooting.
about the justification
Okay,
of the murder.
all right.
I'm saying we're going to start from,
Disguised
was
as a
she
clown.
innocent?
She was definitely engaged in interfering with federal law enforcement. At a minimum,
That's
that's a
spicy.
class A
I'm gonna have
misdemeanor
these.
for
I'm gonna
a
have
year
some
in a
of these
federal
hot fries in my mouth.
So by any reasonable approach to a woman who coordinated with a group for the purpose of obstructing federal law enforcement, if we want to go as light as possible,
Loud
this is a
noises.
misdemeanor. If we want to go as heavy as possible, she actually has a couple different felonies. The first of which is the conspiracy against federal law enforcement, for which Waltz, Frey, and Elson have been subpoenaed. And the second is felony obstruction of an officer, the act itself. You can then add, now this one is where it gets a little bit more contentious with the debate, is felony assault on an officer. So crime, the probability. So we can say this. I mean, the woman lost her life. I think it is definitive and beyond a reasonable doubt from watching those videos and knowing about this network, she was committing felonies. I think that is a reasonable assessment. She conspired to and did obstruct law enforcement. The next question is, now we get into the justification for the shoot. In a standard legal context, outside of anything we know about ICE or Stop ICE or whatever's going on, if there is an agent for officer or agent for any reason in front of a vehicle,
they're a little spicy.
did she
Like
act in such a way that he was legally justified in shooting her?
He would have been legally justified if he wasn't an officer. If you or I were in front of our vehicle and she engaged in the same conduct, we would also have a reasonable perception that she was presenting as an imminent threat of
That reminds me of
force, and we could use deadly force
Kimchi.
to defend
Like
ourselves
Kimchi's
from that
faces.
car attack, that apparent car attack. It doesn't matter whether she was actually trying to attack him with the car. All that matters is, did he have a reasonable perception that he was being attacked with the vehicle? And that's incontestably true. Anybody in that position, the tires spin up, the car lunges forward, you're in front of the car, she sees you, she's looking right at you.
Yeah.
Anybody would feel that they were being threatened by that vehicle.
And the left omits that the tires are pointed slightly to the left when they first spin out on the ice.
I don't even know if the officer could see the...
He can't.
Right, probably,
but that shows the intention of Renee Good as the driver. I would argue that I don't think she was trying to kill him, but she had reckless disregard for his well-being.
I'm ready when you are. Are you ready?
Escape. The wheels are tilted slightly left, and they spin out quickly on the ice, indicating she accelerates. What that means is Jonathan Ross heard the acceleration.
For sure.
He sees a vehicle, he can't see the tires, and he hears the engine
removal,
rev. So he goes for his gun.
Control,
But the question that people bring up is, the first shot goes to the windshield, but it's likely not the shot that killed her. According to the autopsy report, it was a bullet
I'm
at
going
the
to challenge
side
you, I
of her
guess.
head, indicating that it was the two shots through the side of the window. Does that mean anything legally?
Not particularly. There's two rationales for justification for those two shots. One is there's a reaction time that occurs in self-defense. You know, before you start using force in self-defense, you have to perceive the threat, you have to evaluate it, you have to make a decision. I want to defend myself. You present your gun, you press a trigger. All that takes time. It also takes time to stop using force, and the law recognizes this. When it's a rapid sequence of shots like that was, it's really one use of force event. There's a slight delay in starting, and there's a slight delay in ending. But another justification is he's privileged to use deadly force to defend not just himself, but any other innocent person that could be threatened by this woman using her car as a weapon, and there were plenty of other people around.
In a law enforcement context, my understanding is that the standard protocol is to shoot until the threat is stopped.
Something different.
Which means it doesn't, at this point,
Yeah, it was
with
good
the
to see you
vehicle
trying
hitting him, and
something
it did. We know about his injury, whether they want to admit it or not.
Like a
The
Christmas
left, I guess
fucking
their
mirror.
argument is that
Like,
the doctors conspired
the whole
with
last
the federal
game, I
government
didn't
to
get a
make fake
single one.
injuries. I doubt it.
Aggressive
I don't think his
somebody
injuries
else
were
took my card,
particularly
by the way.
severe. He probably had bruising, but he was hit.
That's the card I'm supposed to be playing.
The threat is not neutralized if the woman is still driving the car.
Right. And that's actually a third legal rationale. So as a fleeing felon, a dangerous fleeing felon, you're allowed to use deadly force to keep a dangerous fleeing felon from departing the scene. If she had been standing, not in a car, but she had a gun, and she shot at him and missed, and then ran away with her gun,
he's enjoying
she'd
it.
be privileged to shoot her to prevent her from fleeing with that deadly weapon. In this case, of course, her deadly weapon wasn't a gun, but it was a car.
There was a video I saw where a guy is, I don't know exactly how it went down, but
You might get smoked on this one.
body cam footage videos on Instagram. There's a guy who's holding one by the neck. I don't believe he's armed, and he's walking backwards because there's a cop. I think he was trying to rob a liquor store. Maybe there's several warrant. He's backing out while the cop is screaming at him to let go of the woman. He exits the building, throws the woman, and turns to run, and the cop shoots him in the back, killing him. And my understanding is that was found to be justified because he had already expressed intent to
Which
murder.
I would.
And
I would.
the perception
You
from
do
the
your
officer
rabbit.
was choking out this woman and dragging her by the neck is a threat against her life. He needs to stop this guy now. Who's
Probably
fleeing,
should get the rabbit.
because regardless of whether you have a weapon, he's expressed intent to murder somebody.
Yeah, so the famous Supreme Court cases, Tennessee versus Garner, Graham v. Connor, they don't say you can't shoot a criminal who's running away. They say you can't shoot a criminal who's running away who's apparently no longer a threat to anybody and did not commit a crime of violence in the first place. That kid who maybe tried to steal something from a car and now is fleeing the police and climbs over a fence, you can't just shoot that kid off the fence. But if they committed a crime of violence or they're a continuing threat, you can use deadly force to stop them from fleeing.
I think in Texas you can, right?
Is
Well,
that your
you're
card,
thinking of
the
defensive property
Arabella?
law in Texas.
Yeah.
So Texas is the one state where someone steals your personal property and they're fleeing with it.
kill 'em.
The law says you can use deadly force to prevent them from fleeing with your property. And I've seen that applied, and I've seen it work. But just remember, I always have to caution people. You do this, you kill someone, you could be put in front of a jury, and the jury could just...
Humboldt says, or Jackie Chan, Mimsy says Jackie Chan was a stunt double for Bruce Lee and was one of the goons in the Nunchucks fight in Enter the Dragon. That is interesting. Humboldt says, I guess he'll just have to tag in the Texas Ranger. That's good trivia, Mr. Mimsy. That is good trivia, actually. For real, though, Chuck Norris is legit. Yeah, he is definitely legit.
Just decide they don't like that law and
That's
convict
what
you anyway.
Well, I wanted to ask you, because this is one thing I've been seeing in at least corporate media is they're attacking Jonathan
reason
for
for
the
me to
true
not.
shots on the side. Like
You can take the damage.
You know,
You don't
just
have to
legally.
block.
I don't know if you could give me a breakdown on if that
You're not
impacts
gonna be able to
anything
kill it.
on self-defense. I've been seeing it scrutinized.
You're
all
about to
over
gain
the
4
media.
life, too, but you have to
from a
attack
legal
with
standpoint,
this
I don't
check.
know anything about this stuff. You know.
Yeah,
you
so
can make it
first of
fly.
all, they're always trained to fire
That'd be
more than
kinda
one
cool.
shot.
Okay,
right?
okay.
So a 9mm round, just not very powerful. You can't
Guess
count
what?
on
Oh, your
and by the way,
tokens.
when you're
Oh,
shooting
one
at a
more, and
real
your
human
tokens
being,
all have flying.
you don't know where the bullets are hitting. You don't
Right.
know if you're having a disabling effect. You don't
You're
even
so
know if you're
good.
hitting
But
the
if you
person.
swing, you're gonna
a
hit
lot
me
of
for
shots
7,
fired by law
gain
enforcement just miss completely. So they're trained to fire
I'm gonna-
2 or 3
I'm definitely
shots
gonna
as
wanna
a
block
single use
Arabella,
of force event.
so everything else
And
should get
that's
through.
exactly what he did here. So
So
that's
you
all
hit me
happening
for 7,
in about a
8,
second and a half,
9,
maybe
10.
1.4 seconds, 1.2 seconds. It's quite
That'd be
quick.
10 damage, and you gain
And again,
7
there's
life.
that delay reaction, and you make the decision to stop. It takes time for that.
Well,
to
actually,
take
no,
effect.
yeah, I'd attack
And she's still a
everything.
threat
Yeah, I
to
forgot
others,
about
and she's
these
a
guys,
fleeing
too.
felon with a
Okay, so
deadly
that
weapon.
puts me down
Let's
10.
lots of
Definitely have to
justifications
block
for
her.
last two shots.
So there's a lot to break down the Alex
So if you had a
Petty
way to like help
circumstances,
enhance
especially
her
with
out
the
of
new
the
video
graveyard,
that
that'd
went
be
viral,
insane.
where we now know that he was
Especially if you could have,
actually
like,
violent
these.
and was screaming, "Assault me, MFer." But
I'm
starting
at
from the
4.
first video,
Yeah.
give us your assessments
Shut
on
up.
this use of force circumstance.
Whooping my ass.
Yeah, every bit of force the officers
Every
used
middle
from
of the
beginning
play.
to end was lawful in that video. From
Right,
the moment
so
where
we
they're
got
ordering
that.
that woman back, I'll call her white coat, right? You see the CBP officer verbally
Yeah,
ordering
I'm
her
kinda
to
screwed.
create more space from the active law enforcement action they're engaged in. She disobeys that order. She
Yikes.
stops. He's telling her, get on the sidewalk. She doesn't get on the sidewalk. Well, if they don't obey your verbal
You can't
lawful
afford not
orders,
to
you get to escalate to
shotgun.
non-deadly force. So he
Sorry,
shoves
guys, gonna
her
have
onto
some
the sidewalk. That's
rapping.
permissible. And then Preddy comes in
Get
and
it,
makes
Shadow.
contact with him. The moment he does that, he's committed interference
Shadow.
with
Get
contact,
that.
which is a federal felony, good for 8 years in prison.
Wow.
It doesn't
You're
have
so-
to qualify as an assault, an intent to harm.
pop your
It
head
just
off.
has to be interference with contact. Now he's committed. Preddy is committed an
Yeah, I
8-year
did- no,
federal
I-
felony
I
in the
can see
presence
what
of
I
all
do
those
to yours.
officers. Of course, they're going to make an arrest, and it was an act of
there ain't
violence
nothing
on
I
one
can
of their
really do
fellow
here.
officers.
I'm
So
at
they
4
move in
life.
now to make the arrest. They go hands-on. They grab him,
Yes,
get
no
him on the
block.
ground, try to get him on the ground. And now he's violently resisting
gotta
arrest. Not only is that a resisting arrest charge,
rid of
it's
that.
continuing acts of
rid of that.
interference with federal law
rid of that.
enforcement with contact. Then they hear the shouts of gun, 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 gun. And by the way, a lot of people say the officer in the green shirt who extends his,
Right.
like they say, well, he was looking right there. He was looking at the gun as it was taken off his hip, so he knew he didn't have the. That's not how the human eye works.
Yeah.
The human eye is not like a.
Well, that's funny because that's exactly what Sage was saying. Like, he knew he took the gun. Hey, you're focused on what you're focused on. Sometimes you don't, when you're laser, especially as a man, when you're targeted in laser, oh, God. When you attack with one or more oh, goodness. Oh, geez. Yeah, you got enough to kill me now. Exactly enough. Oh, and they're all flying now. You dirty dog. Yeah, I probably wouldn't have attacked that. Oh, really? Really? You're so classless. Hey, you're lacking class. Look at. Oh, don't laugh at me. 37 to -3.
I got lucky because when I played this, that never happened.
She turned me into a newt. Really? Well, I got better. Okay, yeah. You're damn right you got lucky. Let's see if she gets lucky again, boys and girls. Oh, this woman only plays green-white decks. Look at you pull a little red in your step there, you get a little spice. Look at that. All right, I'm gonna play again. Oh God, I'm just getting wrecked over here.
That was not normal. The real
Mm-hmm.
deck will come out.
All right, except my challenged lady.
photograph where everything's in focus at the same time, and no matter what you look at, it's in focus. The human eye, when you look at one eye, I look at you, you're in focus. But Tim's not. They're not.
No, don't believe her.
And I could be looking
She
over
always
Tim's
has
shoulder
extra
at that
aces
fake
stuffed
tree
up
behind
her
him, and
sleeve.
that tree's in focus.
She only
but
loses when
Tim's
she
not,
wants
even
to
though
lose.
my eyes are aligned with him. I suspect that officer
Don't you draw
was
the
actually
queen
looking
of
over Freddie's
diamonds,
shoulder
boy.
because his hands
She'll
would have been in
beat
front of him.
you if she's able. Oh, the queen of hearts is always. It is not. What is that? What? Your best bet. But it seems to me some fine things. Stop. You're zapping me every time you touch me, dude. I don't know why you have an electric charge, dog. You're like a battery-powered dog. Go get your toy. Go get it. Go get it. Get your toy. Get your toy. Go get it. Oh, good boy. Get it. Get it.
And the hands are normally what's the
Yeah, I
threat.
told you,
want to see what's
Mimsy
going on
called
with
it.
the suspect's hand.
And what did he have in his
didn't
hand?
even see the gun coming off the hip.
What did he have in his hand? Freddie?
Get it, boy.
Well, he had an object in his hand. We don't know what it was. It could have been his phone. It could have been
It
another
was a
magazine.
phone, but as far as the officer can tell, a series of events occurred where they hear gun, gun, gun.
Right.
Preddy reaches around where the holster was,
Yep.
spins around holding a black object as a shot rings.
Yeah, like he zapped me. Like
A
it
shot
actually
was
goes
fired,
through
and
my
we believe it may
headset
have been
when he
the
touches
SIG,
me. He goes through my earbuds.
defective discharged or
These
something.
things are not grounded
Some have
properly.
said that it was an agent.
These things probably
panic
like
shooting
team
the rounds.
earbuds.
We don't know.
They fit
But
in my
if
ear
you're-
the right way.
If you're a law enforcement officer,
I'm pretty sure they
someone
are.
is actively resisting arrest. Someone yells,
Pretty
gun,
sure
gun,
they
gun.
are. Hey,
A
psycho,
shot
stop
rings out as he
banging
spins
into
around the
my
black
blanket,
object.
you psychopath.
You have a tenth of a second to
Every
decide
time you
whether or not
leave
you're
the
going to wait
room,
to see if
Morning
he shoots
grabs
and kills
Shadow
you,
and rubs
or
him on
to
the
neutralize the
carpet.
threat.
Build up a
You'll get
charge.
shot 999
Like a
times
balloon.
out of 1,000.
That's what Mimsy
because
said.
You created a reasonable
Oh,
perception.
here we go again.
Maybe not
Oh, it's just like
reality,
the
right?
first
We know
game.
he didn't actually have a gun.
You might
in his
want to
hand.
play this thing on
These
competitive.
officers aren't required to make perfect decisions in self-defense. They're required to make
You
reasonable.
killed my
And
damn
actually,
thing.
you're required not to
How dare you.
obstruct and resist arrest.
Yes, of course. You have an absolute legal duty to comply with lawful arrest.
You know what?
Were you surprised, at least with the news,
Eat
that
it.
after the shooting, the two, because we got this
Oh,
from the
what
Bovino
the?
last press conference, that the two officers that did shoot
Oh goodness. Oh
were
gee.
still working. They were just reassigned outside of Minneapolis, and then I believe, I don't know if maybe
What else
media
we gotta
pressure,
get
but
next
then
time?
2 days later, we find out that the two officers that shot are
Year
now on
goes
administrative leave.
Vanguard,
Most
is
common
that
thing in the
heard?
world.
Oh,
yeah, that's standard
You're involved
protocol.
in a shooting, you're put on administrative leave. It's
And they
perfectly
probably
normal.
did like a
Youths.
trauma assessment or something. They do like a psyche
The
eval.
Utes.
Yeah, they'll
Those
do
are
that. They'll
meddling
do
Utes.
PTSD
How many do you
checks.
have in
And,
here?
I mean, you just shot another person.
Supposed to
That's
put
not
a full
common. You
stack
can
of them,
run
unless they're
in the
rare.
military to have that happen.
Then you
And
just
it's
make freaking two more.
You
It's
want
an
to make sure
uncommon.
if you have an officer who is going sideways, you don't just put him back on the
Oh
street
my
with a gun
God!
again,
I can't
right?
believe
You want to be
cheating
safe from
like
that
this. I
perspective.
got 4 fucking
But
crappy
every
cards that I
officer
never
who's
want to use.
cleared for a shooting
Because that's
was
the
also
rule.
put on administrative leave. I mean, it's
Yeah, the rules
just
is
common
unless it's-
procedure.
All right, hold on. Let me. Unless it's a rare or non, or rare or mythic, you have to have 4 copies. I can't believe she's doing this to me, chat.
Yep. Well, I think it's going to get worse. I think more is going to happen.
I just made it.
I think the
lady.
left is largely comprised,
Not
like
just-
the root of the ideological
Made
divide,
it up a long
and I
time
mean like the bare base is
Zap.
emotionally driven individuals versus factually driven.
Emotional
The
damage.
left doesn't care what's true; they care how they feel, and the right, you know, it's as Ben Shapiro said, facts don't care about your feelings. But the inverse has always been true, that feelings don't care about your facts, and these are the two factions. This results in two greater ideological
getting
moral
the
worldviews: the
crap beat out of me
multicultural democracy of the left and the constitutional republic of the right. It doesn't matter what's true. You have a zombie horde, as I would describe it on the left. They don't care if it's justified or not.
Oh,
They
shit.
care
Are you
that
kidding
bad guy
me? I
did
don't
bad
even have
thing.
another green
It
mana.
doesn't matter if bad guy is allowed to do bad thing.
Oh,
Doesn't matter.
get out of here.
They are going to recruit on this, and the hyperpolarization is going to get worse.
Dude, I'm at 10 life.
We're seeing it geographically.
You're at 25
and now
again.
We're seeing it in the
She's slow
redistricting
playing me.
efforts. There's not going to be swing districts anymore. It's literally just going to be bulk
I heard
power
Chuck
at the federal
Chuck
level.
Norris slapped the doctor when he was
I feel
born.
like this
What-
only
what
ends,
is
this only
this?
ends with one conclusion.
Screw this.
If you know, Massachusetts, for instance, has
Freaking
40%
cheating.
Republican population, but they have no Republican
All of
seats.
New
It's cheating, chat.
All of New England.
Oh,
And they're-
oh,
so they're
look.
doing
Oh,
this
it's
now
too
in every
late.
other state. And the projection
Now that it's too late.
that we're seeing for the midterm is there's no swing states.
Now that
anymore.
it's too late, I get my
I'm
other
sorry, there's
mana.
no swing districts at all. It's literally just
F.
solid blue with a little light blue
Yeah,
and solid red with a
that's good.
little light red.
Can't believe
the-
you cheated.
what's going to happen is it's guaranteed whoever asserts the power in Congress
2-0.
will
wrong.
get it.
Well, I think the
Best two out of
dynamic's going to
three.
be different. I agree with everything you just said. There will not be swing districts anymore.
You wanna
But I
play
think
again?
the number of blue districts is going to be reduced.
All right,
and the
fine.
number
You
of red
won.
districts is going to be increased.
Yeah,
An
2-0.
individual district won't swing, but that dynamic, the numbers
Yeah.
each has, because
Yeah.
we have to keep in mind
That's a cool story,
the
bro.
people you describe who are just emotional
Cool
and can't be
story.
rational.
All right,
That's
get back to
definitely the
ranking
foot
up.
troops of the progressive fascist left. It's different for their leadership. Their leadership recognizes
Uh-huh.
they are
Yeah, that's how that
facing
went down.
existential
Totally let you
political
win.
annihilation. If we
Yep.
had legitimate voters,
Class
if we
act
had a
right here.
legitimate
2
census, if
thumbs
we
and a
didn't have
class act.
90 million illegal migrants
This
in our
guy.
country, they would not
Oh, yeah.
get 30%
They got
of the
my
vote
ass whooped. That's
in
what
this
happened.
country. So if those things
Straight
are
up
fixed, they are
whoop my
annihilated
ass.
as a political party.
James
The only
Bond.
problem
is-
is that requires a 2030 census, and there's no guarantee that we get there. In fact, by all
This-
metrics, it looks like
Lobo
we
says
won't.
James
Democrats
Bond
will
was the
take
only
House in
007
26
because Chuck Norris
2026,
had the first
and
6
then
licenses
should
to
they
kill.
win in 2028,
Or
depending on how
was
things
only
go,
the
they're
007.
going to flood the country, and they're
Then
going to
it's
stop
over.
any effort. It's over.
Yeah.
But
I heard that
all
when
they need
Chuck-
to do right now.
I heard that when Chuck Norris does push-ups, he doesn't push away from the world; he pushes the world away from him. Mm-hmm. All right, let's see. Surveil, blue. Surveil, white. Dude, enough with the frickin' mana.
Always win the midterms, and they obstruct Trump and create an opportunity to win 2028.
I agree.
feel like I'm
for
having, like,
for America to win, we have
My
to
neck
win
is, like,
every
really-
battle. We have to do all those
I'm
things I
thinking I might
described.
need
Not
it.
necessarily all at once, but within a pretty proximate
Always trying to
period. If
gas
we
me.
lose the midterms and lose the next
think
presidential
Republicans
election,
are
the
in deep
country's
water.
over.
If
Biden brought in 20
Republicans-
million, they say, that President whoever, Gavin Newsom, he'll bring in 200 million.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he?
If the Republicans treat the midterms
Oh,
like
my-
an
I'm
election,
playing a guy
it's
with
over
this.
already, and y'all should be heading for El Salvador as fast as you can.
I think JD Vance is in deep water. I think right now it's likely that Gavin
good?
Newsom wins. And just from my perspective, if I'm Marco Rubio,
Just what?
I'm meeting with JD Vance and I'm telling JD, if you don't want to be on my ticket, then I'm running against you in 2020. I think Marco Rubio has a way better shot than JD Vance. He's a way better statesman.
right, you
He's
guys.
running as Secretary of
You're
State.
all loud and
And Marco Rubio could also pull those conservative Latino votes that Republicans sometimes
No,
do
he's
need to
not.
get over the
Well,
finish
you keep
line.
yelling at
That's just my perspective. If I'm
No,
Rubio, I'm
'cause I'm
telling
an
Vance,
angry-
I'm running in 2028. I'm not waiting for you. I think JD's
Yeah,
in a
man.
very, very shaky spot against Newsom.
I actually agree largely. I'm not entirely sure, but I know that the Democrats have a much harder time, have had a much harder time going after Rubio.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of vanilla pudding. He's done these jobs. He's got the experience. He's had success, and he approaches them from. You see these hearings that he's at. It's not overly antagonistic.
Mhm.
It's difficult for them to pin him down like they do with Trump.
Or
because
Noam.
Trump said,
Tim, have you seen those hearings with Noam?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rubio just. He's got all these jobs. He's got a lot of good PR, and he's coming off a bit
All right.
like your generic conservative statesman, and that
Chuck
Democrats
Norris
have a hard
once kicked a
time
horse in the face.
turning him into the villain.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that JD Vance. I think that
You
Marco
guys looking
Rubio
up these
would do the
Chuck
job
Norris
better.
jokes or something?
I think JD Vance would run a better campaign. I think the whole like all the stuff they throw out. He has sex with couches, right?
Right.
That doesn't work.
No,
Like,
no, it doesn't
With
stick.
moderates, with people on the right, it doesn't work. It doesn't convince anybody of anything. It doesn't make people not vote for him. That is just like a thing on the left. Like they all joke about it, but I don't think those slander campaigns
opponent was
actually
not
work
very
with
happy.
real voters. So JD
Um,
Vance is very well spoken. He's a fantastic debater. He's a
I'm
great
gonna put
speaker.
that in there.
And he has good ideas. I think that Marco
in
Rubio is
there.
probably a little bit more competent as the actual president.
I think Vance has more X factor.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that I think is a weakness for JD
Well, that's
Vance
'cause
is
of
sometimes
the-
when he speaks, he's
Yeah.
speaking too much to like the online right on X, where he's
Yeah.
not speaking to America. And sometimes like that's one thing about JD is like you know to win some of these votes, sometimes you're not speaking to us.
But that
you're
shows-
speaking to like a normie, and like the thing is like right after the Renee Nicole Good situation, no matter how you feel about it, like that was a sensitive time for the country, and JD just came like aggressive and like. Maybe like I said, the base loves it. MAGA's always gonna
but
love
yeah,
it.
even pushing the narrative
but
about
I don't know how he's gonna do with the normie voters.
pushing the Pred he wants to massacre people was a massive blunder.
I don't know,
Huge
really
mistake
good.
on
Oh
their
yeah,
part.
I agree with that. I think though that JD Vance being involved in like meme culture and on like everyone's online, even
Yeah,
the
yeah.
boomers are online, right? I think that just shows that he's personable. Like
It needs
the
a little bit of
Halloween
lemon
costume
juice.
Was hilarious.
That was
Take
I
it up
know
a
single
notch.
person didn't think that was funny. It just shows that he's a person. And
Oh,
he's
that's why
personable,
I
and he has
enjoyed
a
it.
personality,
Should have
he's
tried
not
some
just
lemon
like
juice,
some
lady.
blank slate politician who's, you know, a loser.
So I really like Marco Rubio, and I didn't think much of him as a senator. I thought he was a very squishy rhino, but he's definitely been hitting it out of the park with Secretary of State. But his circumstances really give him an advantage in being able to score wins. I mean, that's why Trump's big wins have been in foreign policy, because he has much more freedom of action in foreign policy. These federal judges can inhibit him much less. He's much less reliant on Congress. He can just do things. And so he's doing those things.
Entertains them, so be it.
That's why Trump's really focused his efforts there, because that's where he can get
Knows who
ground.
let
That's
the
where he
dogs
can
out.
get wins. The trouble is, in America,
you guys are
you
cracking me
don't
up,
win
dude.
elections
You
on
guys are making
foreign
my whole
policy.
day.
You just don't. People, ultimately, when they walk into the voting booth,
Who let
they don't
the
give a damn
dogs
about
out?
Venezuela or any of this rest of the stuff. They want to know, how am I doing right now? How do I foresee my prospects for getting a job, paying my mortgage, my kids advancing themselves? And the foreign policy just goes away. So even if Marco Rubio just continues to knock it out of the park like he's been doing, I'm not sure that carries towards winning a domestic election.
That's true. I think another sleeper too is like DeSantis is coming again. Like I think
No, I'm good, baby.
Like, DeSantis is not part
I'm
of
not
that
hungry
magic
at all. I'm
camp
not
with
trying to-
JD and,
like I said, I'm
Marco. And I
pretty
think
not.
DeSantis is going to come in and he's going to throw
Damn it.
his hat in at this.
Damn
it's
it.
making another interesting kind of dynamic with DeSantis in there. I think he's coming again.
I think that would be so bad for the election if DeSantis joined the race against like JD or Marco,
I'd see
especially if it's JD. I think it would actually maybe
Let's try
worse
this again.
if Marco's a front runner. I think it would just tear the party apart and we'd lose.
Oh, I think he's got like
You have
fight
two-
stuff.
Like there are a lot of DeSantis loyalists in Florida who will vote for him.
Perhaps.
And it's just going to divide everybody and screw us over. I mean, we're already at the point where I don't even know if we're going to win in 2028.
Right.
I honestly think that the chances are kind of low.
Right.
Right. So if we divide ourselves more than we already have, we lose.
Well, one of the big conspiracy theories is that Trump was always just a pressure release valve in the rat hope experiment of American politics. That is, for those that aren't familiar, the experiment was done where they took a cylinder full of water and put a rat in it, and then after a few minutes, the rat just gave up and then drowned. They did it again, put the rat in the tube of water, and as it was about to drown, they picked it up, let it rest, dried it off, then put it back in. The second time it went in, it swam for hours because it believed if it just held out long enough, salvation was coming. And so one argument is that Trump was only ever allowed to win by the machine state. I don't know if you actually believe these deeper conspiracies, so that pro-American constitutional republicanist type individuals will believe it's possible to win and keep holding out hope instead of just giving up, which could result in insurgency, economic collapse, or just social disorder. So long as the right believes that there is an electoral path towards securing our country and our traditions, they won't go crazy.
Pretty dark.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's true, but people believe it because Trump seems to be only ever slowly losing. A lot of great things have happened, don't get me wrong. You know, shutting down USAID was massive, but it seems like he's only ever just slowly losing.
He's just in a tough spot also with these ICE raids because, like, the thing is, Trump right now has one of the biggest political wins in history of shutting down the border in record time. But because of the optics of the ICE raid and the way that Noam went about it with Bovino of being just very aggressive and confrontational, that's the story right now. We're not really even focusing on a big political
They don't
win.
even have a choice to be confrontational or not, though. I mean, you have a many thousands person network in just one place that they're carrying out an operation, impeding them everywhere they go. I mean, these people are literally, they're doing it right now. They're in the chat right now, calling out intersections, dropping license plates. You can see it right here. Like, they're just...
Yeah, they're doing some crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. Yep.
Hey, I'm over here. I see an ICE agent here. Two masked agents in the front. They're just doing it all day. If you go downtown Minneapolis or Southside Minneapolis and look for federal agents, you can't find them on your own because they literally stop, grab somebody, and take them. They do their work very, very quickly. But once you get in the signal chats, it's very easy to find them because you have 1,000 people just on Southside Minneapolis dedicating their entire day for 8 hours to finding federal agents, which makes it very easy, right?
Excuse me.
So, like, you don't have a choice but to be aggressive and confrontational when you have, at any time you do an operation, 200 people stopping and impeding you. I mean,
and we talk about getting these domestic wins and deporting these illegal migrants in America is going to contribute to real domestic wins. I just saw a headline this morning. Rents in LA are like dropped to the lowest point they've been in 4 years. These are all human beings, right? They need to consume the things that human beings need. They compete with American citizens for every scarce American resource: housing, healthcare, employment, education, infrastructure, food, everything. That's why the cost of living is so high. We brought in tens of millions of additional people. We're not producing that much more of that stuff, so we all have to compete with them for that. And in many cases, not only are we competing with them for the resource, but they're buying the resource with our money. I mean, they're getting government benefits to pay for Section 8 housing, SNAP benefits, free education in public schools. All of this is being paid for with our taxes.
Yeah.
You take those people out of the equation. You know, we say we have a housing shortage. We don't have a housing shortage if you take out the people who are consuming the housing. If you clear out, the quickest way to have 20 million homes immediately available is to clear out 50 million illegals.
There's always this argument that you hear, especially from like the libertarian right. Illegal immigrants pay taxes, they work in this country, they contribute to the country. This is true. They do work in this country and they do pay taxes, but there is a House Committee on Budget study conducted in conjunction with the Center for Immigration Studies that found the net fiscal drain when you offset it by taxes. The equation's literally just
I wonder if Tim Pool would be angry that I'm actually showing and looking over his show while I'm playing Magic the Gathering. Because I don't know if you guys know, but like the whole Tim Pool crew, they're really into MTG.
social welfare used minus taxes paid. $68,000 per illegal immigrant is the net fiscal drain on the U.S. economy per person. The idea that they're not draining the system is just fundamentally false. Now multiply that by however many illegals are here. They're absolutely draining the system.
Yeah, the nation's just being looted. It's an enormous redirection of resources from tax-paying, productive, employed American citizens to people from the third world who come here. I mean, these Somalians, for example, in Minnesota, they look around. It's like that movie where you put the sunglasses on and everyone's a lizard person. You know, when they look around at America, they see America in a very different way than an American does.
Right.
We're a high trust society, first world society. We have very low guardrails on most of our social service programs because we don't need them, because we're not trying to constantly exploit the system.
Putting an opponent at 10.
If you had to have high guardrails, you couldn't have the program because it would be much too inefficient if we just assume everyone's trying to rip off the system. There's no way you'd be able to do it. And that makes first world nations exceptionally vulnerable to exploitation by people from low trust third world societies, because what they see is opportunity. If you ask these Somalians honestly, they would tell you, we don't even think we did anything wrong. The rules say I'm allowed to have a daycare in my house. I filled out all the paperwork. I checked all the boxes. Sure, I'm providing daycare to my sister's kids who lives next door, and she's providing daycare to mine. But the rules don't say we can't do that. We're not committing fraud. This is just what the system allows us. You Americans allow this.
Because Americans don't understand what the law is or how it actually works. And we bring it up quite a bit, that there are laws in the books to this day that never get enforced and wouldn't get enforced. And a great example that...
All right. Opponent's sacking lands to try to draw a card. They're in freak out mode. Snowing in Indiana. I'm done, I swear. Oh, you're done with the Chuck Norris joke?
A great example is in West Virginia, it's illegal to cohabitate with a woman. It's actually a crime in West Virginia if you're a man unmarried to have a female roommate or to live with your girlfriend. In what reality would a state trooper show up to your apartment and be like, you're both under arrest for misdemeanor cohabitation? Never gonna happen. Now, what happens when someone comes to this country and they look at the rules and they say, better not do that, because they take it literally, not understanding how this country works? Or in the inverse, they say, what do you mean? I did everything right. I get your money is mine. And we're shocked by that. It's not explicitly illegal, but it's wrong to do, and you'll get in trouble.
Are you done with the snow, or are you done with the Chuck
Norris? About it. Too many people rely on written word, and they don't understand that Constitution means what constitutes a people and their morals. That's why multicultural democracy makes no sense and literally can't work.
Got 2 ticks.
You can never
moving up.
quantify
Gonna get
the law
into diamond soon here, I think.
There are a lot of instances, though, where they are just straight up breaking the law and they know it. Like Jonathan Cho and I did a really in-depth investigation on Somali shelters in Washington State.
Do this real quick.
And we would just show up to the daycare.
I'm gonna go ahead and switch to my other account.
Hi,
so
is
I can work on that a little
blank
bit.
daycare? Nope, no daycare here.
Get the dailies done.
You ever seen kids over here? Is there a daycare? Nope, never seen kids.
I'm actually diamond on my free to play account.
They're receiving $1 million a year from
diamond
from the government, and you can look it up, like on the state website, the expenditure website, and there they are.
You know, I gotta be honest. Like, part of me just says, man, if you are a rube, you're a rube, right? What do? You can try as hard as you want to explain to the dude how the 3-cart Monty is
really
is a
loving
trick
the
and
new
you can't win
expansion.
no matter what, but he's adamant
please
he's
be
going to win.
careful.
And the American people are getting taken for a ride. And I know that most of us
We're supposed to
that
get a
are-
slam
that
with
are-
snow
that are
tomorrow.
apprised of what's going on. We
That's what I'm
desperately
hearing.
are trying to alert the other Americans to the fact that they're being swindled by a con. But man,
What does that even
at a
mean?
certain
All
point,
access.
Can you stop the tsunami? Right. My point is,
Bring your brawl
if
deck
this is
and
the
play
American
best
way,
of one
then does
matches.
America
You'll
deserve to
receive
exist in
rewards
this
based
form?
on how many matches.
Is America the greatest nation that they claim it to be if the population is a bunch of self-hating white affluent female liberals giving away all of our money and our children's inheritance to a bunch of third worlders ripping us off? Should that system exist?
I don't
I'm
even
going to
think
go
I
ahead and
have a brawl
say
deck.
that system, not the American dream, not the American Constitution, but that system should not exist, and everybody agrees. How you put a stop to it is a question when
All right,
it is a
so
system
blue
built
and
upon
black.
rubes playing into it with a smile on their face.
That's
Blue
a
and
real
black.
problem. We have a large segment of the
I have a
society who's
blue and
engaged in basically societal
Yeah, I got a
self-harm.
bruised
I mean, they
ego
just make
deck I
bad
can
decisions
play, or I got my assassin.
for emotional reasons. In terms
I'll
of
play my
this
assassin.
particular bad decision, we're going to allow
Although my
hundreds
bruised
of
ego
thousands
deck
of
is a lot of fun.
Somalians to steal billions of dollars from the treasury. One way to prevent that from happening is to not have the Somalians here. Then they can't do that. In fact, that's the only way to prevent that from happening. It doesn't solve the bad decision making, but it prevents that particular, you got a bunch of holes in the bottom of the boat.
Well, they can't make money off of bilking the system if they don't have the Somalian scapegoats. Because there's massive kickbacks going to some of these douchebags, right? You got to know. You got to know there's massive kickbacks going to these people. Uh-oh. Might have some updates here. Should be a good show. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's like Soper might have got himself into a little bit more trouble today, boys. It's like Soper might have gotten himself into a little bit more trouble today. Wow. Commitment record issued. Defendant trial summary. Commitment record issued. Trial docket sheet. Pre-trial docket sheet. Notice of appeal to circuit court filed. Transmittal form. Arrest date. So apparently he got arrested today. Writ. Summon. Pleading. Electronic service. Criminal assignment. Notice. So apparently there's something about an arrest today. Huh. We'll get you more information as we get it, folks. Get you more information as we get it. Hulk talked about it a couple hours ago. Oh, about Soper? I must have missed it. Oh yeah, he might be screwed. Stopping by Space Miners. I'll be in and out, just checking on life. Hey, baby, I think Soper might have got arrested today. It says something about arrest date, so he might have gotten arrested. He might be bailed out. But interesting. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Yeah, I tend to agree with that statement. Shitbags, get shitbag results, I guess. Okay. Come on, mana. Oh, there we go. Got some mana. Cool beans. Let's do this. Now this thing can start firing. Watch this. I love this Etrata. Deadly Fugitive. We're making all kinds of stuff. Alright. Let's see. Let's do this. Go ahead and swing with everything. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me. Oh, got the elixir. Ooh. That's pretty good stuff. Uh-oh. 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 That's got some pretty good synergy right here. Alright, so we got 5 mana. Right? Let's see. Okay. I think we're gonna... We're gonna swing. A wing and a swing. Swinging for everything, boys. So winging with everything. Okay. Okay. Alright. Well, he can just keep getting that back, can he? I'm not mistaken. I don't know if that's... I don't know if that... Okay, let me do this. Draw a card for that. Bam, 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 bam. Get some more stuff. Shank, shank, shank. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Alright, and go ahead and cast this. And next turn... Oh, and... Ooh, I gotta put the artifact, the tribal artifact in here.
The answer is not to fix none
the
of
thing
them.
is, like,
You
why
fix
hasn't
them when you
anyone been
can.
arrested since like Nick Shirley's piece or like
Mama said
you were
knock
just in
him
Washington
out.
State? Like, why hasn't anyone been arrested? Like one of the
Go
good
for the
good
fence.
things, great things optics wise about the ice raid.
See, Space Miner said just got my kilo gallium delivered today. I sold silver to buy it. Gallium is way up. Silver real low. The time that purchase, power spot on. Uh-oh.
Is that it does
Nice.
deter immigrants who are like in other countries from even making the journey because they see, oh, you get
Silver
arrested,
looks like
you
you
get
got
deported on a
shorted.
plane. Why not like arrest the
running out of
Somalis and they do
paper
a
in
big
the
show
market.
and then deter
Time for
fraud?
the money
Who's
machine
gonna-
to go
Well,
burr.
yeah. I wish the DOJ would do it, but like on the state level, the other
Do
layer to
this.
this, the other problem is like
do
Washington State is like a hostile government. The mayor
Right,
of
yeah.
Seattle is an open communist.
Listen. There is this relatively leftist perspective, in my opinion, that exists within.
Back with everything?
I'm not saying it's a wrong perspective, but it's certainly not a hardcore right perspective. If it can survive, it will. If it can't survive, it won't. There is a certain degree of natural selection in all systems, and currently this country has allowed for all of this, and half of it supports it. And the more you bring in people, the more the weak left bring people in that burn this country to the ground, the faster it will burn down because the people they bring in are additionally burning it down. My point, this idea that the system we have today deserves to survive, despite the fact that it allowed for this to happen, is I believe it's in essence paradoxical. It's almost like
I think I'm gonna...
There's a human perspective on trying to control systems, and there's honor, integrity, and there's balance.
I think I'm
It
gonna
comes to this
do
question
this.
of
I think I'm gonna do this.
if you saw a butterfly trapped in a spider's web, would you
I'm at
free the
20,
butterfly?
so I think I'm gonna let this
And
go
to
one
an
more
extent,
turn.
although many conservatives would answer, no, I mean, the spider exists and it can eat as well.
I don't know what he's
still
got
feel
here, but I'm
most
gonna
conservatives
clear the
are
entire
in this world of, I should interfere and free the butterfly.
Okay, fair enough.
The point is, in a natural system without human interference, the spider eats the butterfly, end of story. And our aesthetic appreciation of the butterfly is meaningless. It's two bugs, and one eats the other, and one, it is what it is. Ultimately, my point is, the system created even by the Founding Fathers has opened the door for this kind of exploitation and destruction by which other authoritarian systems are not victim to. Now, again, I think the best way to describe it is, it's a terrible system, but it's the best we've got, right? As the old quote
If we
goes,
attack
what is it?
everything?
Churchill has said, democracy is terrible except for every other system. And so, ultimately, I suppose what I'm saying is,
Oh, he's
there
real
will be
nervous
some
about
kind
blocking
of destruction of the current order within the United States. Either
He's
the
gotta
communists
block
will win and will be
everything pretty much,
crushed,
doesn't he?
or the right will wake up and shut down liberalism.
100%. One of those has
It's going to
happen.
change.
Because right now we're balanced on the top of the pyramid. We can't stay here. It's unstable. So one side or the other side is going to win. Either the right's going to win, and we're going to remove a large number of people from this nation. You can't actually save the third world. The first world cannot save the third world. It's not possible as a matter of mathematics. We've poured, in the last 60 years, we've poured trillions of dollars into the third world. And it's only made things worse. Their standard of living has been made modestly better, but their population has exploded. Africa went from a population of about 200 million people who were starving in third world to 1.4 billion people who were starving in third world.
And what I
now
love
they
is
need a place to go.
These liberals.
Get that back.
I was talking to I
put
was trying
this
to
out.
be a non-political person.
Perfect.
And the conversation of like billionaires came up and they said,
your,
well, you know,
friend
one
Wade
thing
did?
you can do, like these rich people could do, is they could take a portion of their profits to go and like give food to people in Africa who need it.
Satisfying.
And I said, that sounds
Not
nice.
fantastic, 'cause
What do you
I
think
didn't
those
make
people
it.
will do
Should've
once
had a
they
little
get
bit of
food?
heavy cream.
And she's like, I don't know, they won't be hungry anymore. And
Would've
I'm like, okay,
brought
so
it
healthy
to
and
some
full-bellied
level.
people, right? They're gonna have families, yeah. So they're gonna have a bunch of kids, right? Yeah. Maybe they have 3 kids, maybe 4. Okay. How do we give food to the next generation, which is 50% larger than the previous?
Right.
Maybe
And
you
the
got the
problem is
vid.
these
You got the
liberals,
COVID.
Wells,
5 times larger.
right, it keeps getting bigger. And then they need more food every time. All you're going to do is
the coffee's kinda
maximize
left a lot
starvation in the
back
long
of
run.
my tongue there.
This is the world that liberals create because they don't actually think
Yes,
about
you
the consequences of their actions. They think you're evil.
You had
if
it when you
let
had the
someone
damn
starve
vaccine.
without
The
thinking
schmaxine.
about what happens if that person
You gave it to me.
isn't starving. Now, to an extent, we agree, like, hey, if someone's starving, we're giving them food, right? But if you are funding a barren wasteland in Central Africa that can't grow food and you're importing food, you are creating
have
a
that either.
dependent people that will ultimately result
I
in
got
more
sick
starvation.
twice.
And of course, in the
Uh-oh.
modern era, those same people,
Uh-oh,
they get
boys.
on the internet.
Oh, no.
They see what the first world is like, and they have the means to get here. Right? 100 years ago, that wasn't possible, but today it is possible. And we have a Democrat Party that knows the American body politic is no longer voting for it. They need a new political constituency, and they look at Africa and they see tens of millions of people they can bring in to be that new constituency that's dependent upon Democrat largesse, and the Democrats stay in power.
I mean,
otherwise they
Minneapolis
don't
is
survive.
Africa. People also start engaging in other things too, and their bellies are full because their primary concern is no longer how do I
are you
survive
doing,
until
buddy?
tomorrow. They engage in things like war and terrorism as well. So
You know what? If you want to conquer a country, the best thing you can do is give them free stuff. Bombs, you know, you can wipe out the population, but if your goal as an empire was, we want to subjugate this nation so they serve us, so they mine cobalt and sulfur and their teeth fall out of their mouths and we don't got to do it. Dropping bombs and showing up with guns, ineffective. You kill off a bunch of the slaves you're trying to capture. So what do? You give them free shoes. And you know what happens then? This is a funny story about Tom's shoes. I believe it was Tom's shoes, but if I'm wrong, then I'll eat that one. But I recommend you guys look into it because I don't want to besmirch any company if I am wrong about this. So I may be wrong. I'm being very careful here. But the story that I heard was they said for every pair of shoes you buy, we'll give a pair of shoes to a needy person in Africa. Overnight, the economy of these areas was flooded with free shoes. So what happened? The shoemakers all went out of business. There were people who made a living repairing and making shoes for people. All of a sudden, you have a bunch of people who can't make money anymore. So their shops go out of business. They become destitute.
I love you,
and now
baby.
you have a high level of unemployment and homelessness from these people who can no longer make
Yeah,
money.
I'm gonna end this
There's an
on this
ancillary,
right now.
a secondary effect. These
All right, guys,
shoemakers
after
were
this
buying
match,
food.
I'm going to end the
Now the
stream.
farmer who was growing wheat just lost a certain percentage of his customers. The economy
You
collapsed.
lamers.
by
Actually, I'm going to
getting
end it
free
right
stuff.
now.
And now the people
well, actually,
are
no, wait till
desperate
after
and
this game.
destitute, and you
That way
walk in
guys
and
can
say,
see
we're going to
if I
solve
win
all
or
your
not.
problems. You will be in debt to us, and we will fund your redevelopment.
Gotta be a winner.
So you can solve this, but now you serve us.
We'll see.
And that's what they do.
See if I win.
Yep.
That's why we gave $13 million for gender studies in Pakistan.
That's why China engages in all these infrastructure projects in all these countries. In Greenland, they tried to do the same kind of mining deals to create exactly those kinds of dependencies.
Yep. So then right now, I guess my view of things is the left likes to say the old world is dying and the new
All right,
world
let's
struggles to be
activate
born.
this.
And that view that they have represents an idea only they can win.
Gonna do me any.
They believe that the right is the old world and
see if
the
there's
only
anything
new
better.
world is theirs, and their world is struggling to be born, but it will because the old world is dying. What they miss, in fact, is that there are actually two potential new realities. And it's a question of whether or not the right is willing to actually fight and push for it. And I believe it's a strong probability, that's why I say civil war, that it will come to this. But in the event there is a civil war, let's go back a little bit. If the right is unwilling to stand up for what it believes in, there will be a revolution. The right will cease to exist, and this country will become a multicultural democracy, much like the CCP, how they operate. It's not a democracy, but multicultural democracy is what they describe it as. It's obviously just party communism where people in power steal the power from others and don't let anybody else get power. And then you get Goblin King scenarios where people start killing other military officers for power and whatever.
Well, it's reversion to the mean of humanity,
Good,
right?
that was the only one he
Humanity's
had?
existence is normally just a small number of people at the top, with
Doubling
all the wealth,
season.
and 99% of the people are completely poverty-ridden.
And it's gonna, that system will be no matter what. The question is, will it be a traditionalist, constitutional
let's get
American
walk-in
worldview
closet.
where you
Got
have
one.
a
Hot
Christian
cellar.
family celebrating Christmas?
Virtue
Or is it going to
of
be a
persistence,
transgender
that's gotta
communist with a polycule? This is the big fight between the communists and the
Wood,
fascists going back 100 years. They both were
Oh, it's got some
authoritarian
good
fascists that wanted
cards,
to
man.
dominate, but they had differences on their cultural values. The fascists were traditionalists and the communists were progressives. The communists wanted to erase all history and create a new blank slate garbage world. And the fascists wanted to maintain gender, the social
this.
orders around gender and tradition, family and religion. Largely, we
this.
have that now. If the right plays the will be liberals
Or
game,
pay
and I don't
for
mean
life.
liberal in the political sense, I mean it in the philosophical sense, they will be crushed by the authoritarians. If the right decides to be as authoritarian as the left,
Okay.
you'll have a fight between two factions like we saw 100 years ago, and the question is which faction wins? Well, I think the fascists are much more likely to win if they fight back.
But do you have to be authoritarian and fascist to believe in gender norms and nuclear families? Because that feels like a stretch to me. Like
The point is, the moderate liberals, the centrists, and the libertarians who are like, I don't believe in that bullshit, are completely unwilling to fight. So they're not in the equation. As I said, the libertarians fold like cheap suits.
Okay, fair enough. I understand.
You are going to get Matt Walsh, Deus Vult types that are going to, raise their sword and say, motherland or whatever. The moderates are going to sit back, and whoever wins, they will be subjugated by.
Yeah, I think
Like
I might be a little
libertarians are gonna
screwed
get
here,
the boot
Chet.
of whichever faction wins,
This game might
while
go on for
complaining about the
another
boot
hot
good luck.
minute.
Yeah, I do think
My
it's
opponent
only
might
one
be
of
getting
two outcomes.
quite a
Either
bit
we,
of-
I think there's two cultures out there. There's first world culture, there's third world culture. First world's about 1 billion, third world's about 7 billion. And it's, unfortunately, first world cultures are very vulnerable to exploitation by the third world because we are a high trust society. And when low trust people come in, they see scams everywhere, they see opportunities everywhere. And so it's very easy for a first world culture to be degraded to a third world status. I mean, just think about it. Most of us have probably lived in good neighborhoods and bad neighborhoods. I know I have, right? If you live, I'll call it a good neighborhood, a high trust neighborhood. Your kid leaves his bicycle out in the front yard for a couple hours. He's probably going to be there when he comes back in a high trust neighborhood. What's that?
You ever go skiing?
Yeah, right, exactly right.
Yeah.
Right, high trust, right? You leave these $1,000 skis out where you go inside and have lunch. But I've also lived in neighborhoods where if you left that bicycle in your front yard for 3 minutes, it was gone. It was gone. So how many times?
I wonder how dark those neighborhoods were. If you leave your bike in the front yard for 3 minutes, it's gone. But you can leave $1,000 skis out on the ski slope and go in and have lunch, and they're still there when you get out. I wonder why. Wonder why. Anyone know why that could be a thing?
Times does your kid's bike have to be stolen from the front yard before you decide, you know what, we can't do that anymore, right? Turns out we don't live in a high trust neighborhood. Turns out we live in a neighborhood where bikes get stolen, and you have to lock that bike up all the time. If you have 10% of the population that's low trust like that, every person in the population has to begin conducting themselves as a low trust person, or they just get exploited. That happens on the national scale too. If you're a first world high trust nation and you bring in even 10% of the population that's low trust, they'll just rip you off all the time. And you all have to act as if everyone's trying to rip you off.
There's a scenario that I like to ask people about. It's a thought experiment, and so I'll throw it at you, Mr. Self-Defense Man. Let's just say, hypothetically, you can come up with whatever backstory you want. You're thousands of miles from any civilization. You're in the woods. You have a small canteen full of water. You have a rifle with, let's say it holds 30 rounds.
That's good.
And you've got a small little, in your backpack, you have a little bit of food. You don't know where your next meal is. You have no shelter, and you are lost. You are trying to survive in this wilderness. As you are walking, off in the distance, you see a person walking generally in your direction. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to win this
down.
game, guys.
And they also have a rifle, carrying a small canteen and a backpack. Maybe they have food, maybe they.
Question is, are you going to have a show on the main channel, or are you done for the day? I don't know, baby. Do you want to just chill out and watch? Yeah, I'm done. I think I'm done until my wife goes to bed. I might be a little late tonight. If I come on to the show, that's because my beloved was tuckered out, and I decided, yeah, this is where I'm going to stop. This is where I'm going to stay. And so you may or may not see me tonight, guys. I do apologize for not giving you anything a little bit more concrete. But while my wife is convalescing and her schedule is not what it usually is, my schedule is going to adjust too because I love spending time with her. I think I'm toast here, guys. So we're going to say own it. And let's see what happens here. Holy crap. Does any of this have, like, trample? I can't even see the numbers. 35, 36. Okay. 34. Okay. That blocks that, I guess. Well, I guess that blocks that. Oh, wait, I got all that over there, too. Oh, good game. Yeah. Alright, well, I got smoke. I didn't even see the other one. My eyes are all glazed over. Alright, guys, negative 77. Yeah, that was pretty impressive. Well, I will catch you guys on the next one. I have IR been defeated. I'm going to hand the control over to my wife, and she can pick a show. Are we going to finish watching the